been just one of those years for coaches in the CFL, dealing with the shares of good times and bad. In the West, Wally Buono finds himself not in first place for the first time in years. Edmonton's Ron Lancaster is just trying to keep his quarterback healthy. Jim Daly in Saskatchewan, his problem has been which quarterback to start. In Winnipeg, Jeff Reinbold has found the going tough in his rookie season with just 3 victories. Dave Ritchie has put together another strong team, but no one seems to care in Montreal. Well, Don Matthews is sailing along, but exactly how many wins does he have? How about coaches in tonight's game? In Hamilton, Irvin Bowman is still looking for his first win after taking over for Don Southern, who ironically has the Ticats' only victory so far. There have been some ups, but mostly downs this year in Steeltown. At quarterback, Anthony Calvillo has struggled, to say the least. The usually reliable Paulus Balduson is having a horrific year kicking. The bright spot is defense, anchored by Calvin Tiggle and Joe Montfort. And with the addition of Katie Williams and Lamar McGreg's, Hamilton's D is one of the finest in the league. In BC, Adam Rita has a different reason to be frustrated. He doesn't know what team will show up. Damon Allen's having an MVP year, but things turned ugly last week when Winnipeg's Robert Davis nailed him with a late hit, which prompted Rita to get physical with Jeff Reinbold after the game. Now Rita can only hope that Allen will make it through the rest of the season injury-free. On offense, Alfred Jackson is having a great year, but where should Corey Philpott fit into the scenario? They're still looking. His defense has looked solid all year long. It's just the everyday pros and cons of coaching in the CFL.
Football on a Friday night. It's Friday, and we're gonna be hard to tame. It's Friday, coast to coast, the CFL is telling its game. Well, we're all pumped up to party, and we're ready for a fight. Come on, get back to relax, watching Friday night. Boys have been bad. Playing CFL football game is up for grabs. It's Friday night football tonight.
Live from beautiful BC Place in Vancouver, it's the Hamilton Tiger Cats, the British Columbia Lions, on Friday Night Football. We are live and interactive here at TSN. You can email us at cfl@tsn.ca, looking at the leading rusher for the BC Lions, Sean Millington. And Katie Williams. Guy, I'll be bearing down on him tonight, to be sure. And welcome to Friday Night Football. We feature the Hamilton Tiger Cats at 1-12, taking on the 7-6 BC Lions. Rod Smith, along, of course, with 2 gentlemen wearing very similar jackets tonight. Les Brown, what happened to your burgundy jacket tonight?
Oh, I burned it. I knew they was going to wear theirs.
This is just proof that TSN hasn't been making us share this jacket. But Les is boring mine, though.
There wouldn't have been enough contrast with him with this color.
We're opening a can of worms here. We got the Hamilton Tiger Cats and BC Lions tonight. 2 teams with great defenses. Hamilton with an improving offense based on last week. Let's head to BC Place. John Wells, Glenn Suter, and Dave Archer.
Last Friday, the Lions were whipped by the Bombers in Winnipeg. Tonight, they face another horrible team. Hamilton's problems are on offense. Anthony Calvillo needs a hot start, and Archie Amerson has to have a night for the Ticats to win.
He really does. I think Archie Amerson needs to touch the ball about 20 times, and because of improved offensive line play, he had 139 yards last week against Calgary. Now, the offensive line got him kick-started with this play. It's a counter play. Joe Burgos, Blaine Schmidt are going to pull to the strong side and kick out 2 defenders, and Archie Amerson, who has the ability to make something small into something big, gets in behind the 2 big guys and runs for the touchdown. A 62-yard romp that ended with something that he would like to be their new touchdown celebration. This is a young guy, a rookie, trying to start something new in Hamilton. He's going to go share it with the crowd. This is a young guy that I think they really need to count on tonight.
Now, Glenn, the Lions have great speed in their new linebacking core, but they also have a couple of rookies in there, which could be a liability.
Well, they certainly do. The BC Lions, the only football team in the Canadian Football League with 2 rookies at linebacker. Kelly Lockbaum got his opportunity to play when David Benefield came on the roster and replaced Ty Chapman, and he's done a great job stopping the run. B.J. Gallus has had 3 sacks. He's been asked to play defensive line and linebacker and done a nice job replacing Ty Chapman in that core. And it's anchored by Maurice Kelly, this linebacking core, who leads the league in forced fumbles. He also adds 3 fumble recoveries, this touchdown against Montreal, and 3 sacks to his resume for 1997.
Last week, the BC Lions had 4 turnovers and 160 yards in penalties to win tonight. Even against these Tiger Cats, they'll have to clean up their act. Rod?
Okay, thank you very much, John. Damon Allen last week in Winnipeg, he had a great year, but that was maybe his worst game of the year, Obi. I would think Lions offensively need more from him tonight.
Yeah, what I think Damon's going to have to do tonight in this game is I think he's going to have to run the ball more on quarterback draws and maybe some bootlegs and that, because that linebacking core of Hamilton's with Kelvin Tiggle, Lamar McGriggs, and K.D. Williams, they're going to be keen, Sean Millington and Philpott, and that's going to give him some opportunities to run if they utilize the running game with Damon.
And look for him to run a little bit more when you see Hamilton in that 30 defense. The defense that they established when they were playing against Toronto, rushing only 3 people. That leaves those linebackers to make those tackles. And Lamar McGriggs and K.D. Williams, 15 tackles, 2 interceptions, and 2 knockdowns. They're playing really good football for Hamilton right now.
We can't head to the game until we hear the pick of Marty York. What does Vegas say, and what do you say?
Well, Rod, the Lions are favored by 11 points, and I'm taking them, and I have 4 quick points to support that. Number 1, it was a short week for the Ticats. They've had only 4 days rest, and the Lions have had 6. Number 2, the Lions are fired up to make amends for that ugly loss in Winnipeg last week. Number 3, and we haven't mentioned this at all in the pregame, BC's Alfred Jackson, the 3rd leading receiver in the CFL, is back after missing last week with that injury. And number 4, the Ticats are, sorry, Les, a pretty poor team. So take the Lions, lay the points. They'll be the more ferocious feline tonight.
I'll tell you, the Ticats, that's very good. The Ticats have lost 12 times this season, but the worst loss without question was the one to BC a couple of months ago at Ivor Wynne Stadium when they had the lead in the 4th quarter, and 3 touchdowns given up by their offense, 21 unanswered points for BC, and that was it. This Lions group looks focused tonight coming off a bad outing in Winnipeg. We got the kickoff coming up.
The Hamilton Tiger Cats are in the midst of their worst season ever. Tonight they try and end a 7-game losing streak against a snarly group of BC Lions after last Friday in Winnipeg. Perhaps this guy can cheer the Lions on at BC Place tonight. Hamilton's Urban Bowman is looking for his first win as the Tiger Cats head coach.
And, John, there's no truth to the rumor that he enrolled in some karate classes this week to get ready for this game.
Adam Rita just wants to forget last Friday in Winnipeg.
He's put it behind him. He's used it as a rallying point. If there were players on his team that didn't know about Adam Rita, they believe in him now, and they're 100% behind their head coach after last week's incident.
We're ready for the kickoff, and speaking about forgetting last week, Paul Osbaldiston would like to do just that after missing 5 field goals at Ivor Wynne and costing his team a victory. Corey Philpott is deep along with Larry Thompson for the BC Lions to get this underway at BC Place tonight. Coming down to the 10-yard line, Larry Thompson takes it there. Out to the 30-yard line and wrapped up in a hurry. Tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Midas. Damon Allen has been close to superb all season. Last week he was medium, and the Lions came away losers on Friday Night Football in Winnipeg.
Damon Allen's chomping at the bit to get started in this one. He had a subpar performance. He'd be the first guy to tell you that they got away from some of the things that have made him successful this year. He wants to get back to basics and do the things they do well. That's throwing hit routes, gets the screens involved, let him run with the ball a little bit.
Hitting on 66% of his passes, an amazing stat in Canadian football. As the Lions begin, Allen is on target, far side, and he has Alfred Jackson for a gain of 5.
Well, this is a group of receivers that have been a little banged up. Alfred Jackson's back in, still nursing a knee, and Corey Philpott joins the mix. And the offensive line, this is as solid a group as you'll see across the league. All of these guys can play the game.
Jackson missed last week's game. Not quite 100%, but he's back in the BC lineup. And that should help Damon Allen. 2nd and 5. From the shotgun. Allen has Philpott over the middle. He'll have a first down and lots to spare. Corey Philpott, 1 carry for 2 yards last week in Winnipeg.
And he didn't catch a pass, John, and it's been a long process for Corey Philpott to learn the offense and his new role in this offense throughout the season. I was having a conversation with Larry Thompson, who said that we had to teach Corey Philpott how to be a receiver. Damon Allen hits him over the middle and gets him involved early in this game.
Nice little 9-yard pickup for the Lions. First down, just shy of the BC 45. Good play action fake by Allen. Steps up and got it away. He's got a strike. Nick Mazzoli, first catch of the ball game. Second game as a BC Lion. 15 for Mazzoli.
Well, once again, Damon Allen does the things he does best. He makes people miss. Montford misses, and then he takes a big shot at the end, but that's a throw only a confident quarterback would make.
So the Lions on a bit of a roll out across midfield and to the Hamilton side of the 55. Sean Millington averaging 5.6 yards a carry.
Well, the Hamilton defense, anchored by Willie Whitehead and Joe Mumford on the defensive ends, they have 9 sacks between them. Calvin Tiggle in the middle, of course, and in the secondary, Eric Carter and Orlando Stanar on the corners, Gerald Vaughn and Frank West at the halfbacks, and Rob Hitchcock as a safety.
Millington picked up 3, 2nd and 7 for Damon Allen. On target, he'll have another first down. Trevathan's first catch tonight. 40th catch of the year.
I talked to Mike Trevathan before the game, and I said, you know, you didn't catch a lot of balls last week. You only caught 2 passes. Previous to that, he'd caught 25 in the 5 games leading into the Winnipeg game last week, so he had been involved, but he said, yeah, he'd like to catch a few early to get himself into the ball game. Said he missed a read in the 4th quarter because he was kind of out of it mentally.
Now at the 38, the drive continues for BC. Allen with a hot hand has Larry Thompson. Good move by Thompson, and he might have a first down.
And Glenn, this is exactly what Damon Allen talked about yesterday to us. He talked about he wanted to get back to the things they do well, and it's getting these guys that can run the football after they catch it.
Well, they really are. I mean, you saw right off the back, Alfred Jackson caught a pass. Larry Thompson catches a little hitch pass. They're doing exactly what they did early in the year, and they had success with it. And Larry Thompson is going to work a little bit on Eric Carter. They feel like they can get some yardage out of that matchup.
Larry Thompson picks up 11 for another BC first down. Another great play action fake. And Allen takes it on the bootleg about halfway to a first down. Got a decent block.
Yeah, Corey Philpott peeled back in and tagged Willie Whitehead as he pursued the bootlegging Damon Allen, but he actually does a good job of containing Damon. It's just a 3-yard gain here, but good play fake. You have to respect Sean Millington's running ability, and then Whitehead trying to get out there with the pursuit. The little guy comes in and tags him at the end.
It is marked as a 3-yard gain.
And you know Willie Whitehead just made a mental note who hit him.
2nd and 7. Lions at the Ticat 34 or 24. Play whistle down.
Well, I'm not sure if it was BC drawn offside, but Nick Mazzoli was about 10 yards downfield when the ball was snapped.
Illegal procedure. BC 82. Still 2nd down.
That's as good a release as I've seen from a receiver. He was running past the free safety before the ball was snapped.
That's what you call getting a head start.
Good game last week on a couple of days practice for Nick Mazzoli.
I think Mazzoli's really going to solve the problems for him at the other slot position. That's been a problem position for him all year.
2nd and 12 now. Allen with all kinds of time. No one open. Now he looks to the end zone for Jackson and missed him in the corner.
This offensive line for the BC Lions folks have had to make some changes. Mo Elwanibi has gone into the guard for his 2nd game. Gone to the right guard because of some injury problems. They'd rather have him work in the phone booth than out in space at the tackle position. Todd Furtick was back at that left tackle spot. And considering some of the moves they've made, they've done a good job here tonight and in last game protecting the quarterback.
Louis Pasaglia hitting on 71% of his field goal tries. His longest, 49 yards. This will be spotted on the 36 by Julio Caravana. And Lou Pasaglia has it for a 3-0 Lion lead. Pretty good march to open up the ball game for Damon Allen and the BC Lions. It's Friday Night Football on TSN. Well, it's been an expensive week for Adam Rita. First of all, he was fined $1,275, and now he's got a weekend. Well, look at what he's got to do.
What a weekend for Adam Rita. Yesterday, right after practice, took a float plane to Victoria to see his son's wedding. Kevin and Kate got married. Congratulations. Had to come back today. I mean, what a trip for Adam Rita. And then tomorrow morning, he goes back over by ferry to Nanaimo. So just to diagram this a little bit for you and jog. Okay, here's Vancouver. Now, Adam Rita, what he did was he flew to Victoria and flew back today in time for the game. Now, tomorrow at 9 after practice, he takes a ferry to Nanaimo, drives up to Black Creek for the reception, drives right back down to Nanaimo, takes the ferry back over, is back at practice on Monday afternoon.
So how many aeroplane points does he get for the trip?
I don't know, but it's planes, trains, and automobiles for Adam Rita.
Anthony Cavillo played well last week, but fumbled 3 times and cost his team a victory. Amerson got the call on the first play from scrimmage for the Tiger Cats. He's out to the 40. Hitting on 57% of his passes, Anthony Cavillo so far.
Holding, Hamilton 57. First down repeated.
Well, certainly not the start you'd like to have when you open the game. But Calvillo played a pretty solid game last week. Completed 65% of his passes against a pretty good Calgary defense for 345 yards. But they'll always remember this, the fumbled play down near the 1-yard line. He's had a problem hanging on the ball. Really needs to cure that tonight.
So Calvillo now looks at 1st and 20 back at the Ticat 25. Jourdain took a little screen pass, and there's another marker down.
Well, this is an offensive receiver group that this is only the second or the first time that a same group has been together all season long for Calvillo. And the offensive line, they feel like has gotten better. Joe Burgos has been added to that mix. They think Tom Newton has a chance to be one of the best centers
54.
in this league.
First down repeated.
Blaine Schmidt was fingered on that play. So back-to-back calls go against the Tiger Cats. Not the kind of start Cavillo was looking for.
No, you're going in the wrong direction here. Your goal line's the other way there.
1st and 30 now.
What's the call on 1st and 30?
Yeah, what have you got in the playbook, Arch?
This very likely could be a draw play right here.
Ticats back at the 15.
Oh, what a call.
Jourdain got the football on a little draw play.
I mean, what's the thinking on 1st and 30? You're going to run a draw play. I mean, you called it, they called it. Is that just sort of stop the bleeding at this point?
Yeah, it really does. You try to get something that they can get off to and have a nice play. They've had 2 negative plays. Try to give them something to get the little blood flowing without going in the wrong direction.
Gain is 6, 2nd and 24. Calvillo from the shotgun with time. Swing pass to Jourdain. Trying to break away from one tackle. He's out to the 25, so they got a little bit back before being forced to kick it away. Well, what does a kicker do after a week like Paul Osbaldiston had?
Well, he's a veteran player, Glenn, and when you know, yeah, we've all had bad games, and he had a bad game last, so he'd be the first guy to admit it. You just come back the next week and line up. Fortunately, you get to do it one more time the next week.
And that's what he said just before the game coming out. He said, the best news is I get to do it again tonight.
Punting really hasn't been the problem, but field goals have just about all season long. This will bounce, and Thompson may not get a play on it. Now it rolls inbounds, and Thompson is there right on the 55-yard line to draw a flag. So Ozzie doesn't get a good bounce on that one. It stayed in and came back toward him. It's BC by 3 on Friday Night Football. Here are the guys with the boots. Lou Pasaglia paid a $500 fine for his actions last week. Paul Osbaldiston had a tough week and has to relax.
Hey, when you're 43 years old, that's how you warm up. I'm talking about the guy on the left.
Now, you'd never see a couple of quarterbacks sitting down like that before the game, would you?
Absolutely not. You saw the time in frame there for a little while. 6:10 p.m. That's way too much time to be on the. You're on the field way too early.
You were in the lounge, you're in the locker room, is that?
Yeah, playing video games.
Lions begin at the Ticat 51. Corey Philpott grabbed by Mike Campbell. Philpott having a better start to this game than he did last Friday night. And Adam Rita trying to forget all about the events 1 week ago in Winnipeg.
Well, apparently it has his team focused. They liked what they saw. They liked that their head coach came to their aid, and they are focused and behind Adam Reed 100%.
2nd and 6 as Allen goes to the sidelines for Thompson, who has the first down. Forced out by Eric Carter.
This is a route that surprises me. Every week I see BC play, I see teams give this short side out route to Damon Allen. You see K.D. Williams trying to do the things that he does well, and that's a super job by Sean Millington blocking on the rushing K.D. Williams, who has 4 sacks on the year, so he knows how to get to the passer. But I'm really surprised that they continue to give that out route to Allen and Thompson. They've got it timed out so well.
Gain was 11 yards as the Lions drive continues. Allen away from the first Tiger Cat throw. Fired before he was forced out of bounds. Forced out by Willie Whitehead, number 92.
John Rob Hitchcock came on the safety blitz, and Damon Allen, I don't know how he saw him. Hitchcock was just went by your screen. Damon Allen dodged him initially and got out of trouble and threw that ball away to save a huge loss. But Rob Hitchcock doesn't blitz very often. Very nearly had his first sack right there.
It'll be 2nd and 10, Lions at the Tiger Cats 36, BC leading by 3. Thompson was the intended target, and Damon had to hurry it and fired behind the receiver.
Well, this has been a problem that's plagued several teams this season, is not being able to score when you get in the scoring zone. Now they're at the 36-yard line, but when you get down here, you start thinking touchdown. And this is twice tonight already. BC's been down in this area, and once again, this Hamilton defense has risen up and not allowed him in the end zone.
And I think, you know, it also comes down to success on first down. And in that opening drive, the BC Lions ran the ball with Millington, ran some hitch plays. That last one with the safety blitz, they didn't have any success, and now Louis has to kick the field goal.
He made his first, and he's 2 for 2. Lou Pasaglia from 43, and the Lions have scored in their first 2 possessions for a 6-0 lead on Friday Night Football, live from BC Place.
Friday Night Football tonight.
Back a few Fridays ago, this was the score at Iberwin Stadium, 42-24. The problem there was that the Ticats gave the Lions their final 21 points on 3 straight turnovers for touchdowns. Calvillo on first down. Good play action fake. Now looking for a target upfield. And he has one. Mike Morale coming over and catching it in front of, or Prince Wembley, I should say, in front of.
Well, it's a great job of Prince Wembley to catch that one and fight for the football in front of Robert Hall, and he goes up and just out-muscles Holland for the ball because he had pretty good coverage on the play. Prince Wembley did not play when these two teams met earlier in the season, and Calvillo has a good target in Wembley with good speed.
And a 38-yard gain for the Tiger Cats inside the BC 40. Here's Wembley again, and another catch. He's down inside the 10-yard line. Back to the Prince.
Well, I got a chance to talk to Prince before the game, and he was pretty fired up about tonight's game. He says he feels pretty good. He's been banged up all year, has had some shoulder problems, These two guys, Calvillo and Wembley, played together when Las Vegas was part of this league, and they were quite a team. And this is a heck of a throw because the coverage is there. Rasheed Gale is there. You see the ball's right on the money. Wembley goes up high and makes the catch. That's two. The first one, he actually bailed his quarterback out because Calvillo was in trouble.
First for 38, then for 27. Ticats down at the 10-yard line, and he had to fire in a hurry. Calvillo feeling a little heat there.
I was trying to get the ball to Yonel Jourdain, the fullback, and he's a new guy in this offense. This is only his second ball game, and that was actually a hot read for him. The free safety had come up, Greg Spears, to play. Jourdain coming out of the backfield, and Calvillo didn't have enough time to hang on to the football. Jourdain didn't look. He just had to throw the ball away.
Yeah, he was trying to fight through the traffic, trying to get through the picks, and by the time he had turned his head around, the ball was gone.
2nd and goal to go. Ticats at the Lions 10. Calvillo has a 5-yard reception. Amerson made the catch, but it won't be enough. 3rd and 5. You don't gamble here.
No, I don't think so. You go and take some points, and it's for Paul Osbaldiston to see the replays. Anthony Calvillo just dumps it off to Amerson, but for Paul Osbaldiston right now, pretty good chance to get out of this slump he's in with a short chip shot to start the game for him.
Well, let me tell you, a few short chip shots last week. He just didn't have the swing going, but you're right. This is an opportunity for him to bang one through there and get things going in the positive direction this week.
It'll be an 11-yard field goal spotted by Andrew Gregg. And Osbaldiston has that one, so it's a 3-point ball game. He missed 5 of 6 last week, and it's been a long time getting set for this football game in BC. Against Calgary, Ozzie had a chance to win it a couple of times.
Well, that one's just horrid. But he said, you know, his first couple of kicks were good, solid kicks that just went a little bit wide to the left. So he tried to overcompensate, missed one to the right, and then got frustrated. And for a kicker, you have to keep that even keel when things are going well or not, and make sure that every time you come out, mentally, you're prepared to kick the football.
Yeah, he didn't have Butch Harmon, the swing coach, there to help him out with the adjustments. He kept hooking and slicing in the woods. He couldn't get things straightened out there.
Well, really, it really is like a golf swing when you're a kicker. I mean, it's technique, and he's worked on his mechanics. He says he watched the film after the game and worked on some of the mechanics of the kicking game. And he said, all I was doing really was leaning my shoulder back a little bit, and that's all it can take to miss one.
And as long as he's playing, there's really no coach. There's really no coach that can help a guy like that. He's been around long enough to make the adjustments himself, and he did tonight.
He's 1 for 1 so far tonight, and the Lions have a 6-3 lead. Rasheed Gale returning for BC. Room to the far side, and a seam opened up the middle. Nice return for Gale out near the 33. Hitchcock put a pretty good hit on him there, number 42 for the Tiger Cats. Damon Allen has marched the Lions on back-to-back drives for field goals, 6 of 9, 61 yards.
Well, I love those special teams, and Rob Hitchcock, a big part of them for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Watch the hit on Rasheed Gale right there. Straightens him up with Justin Ring on his back.
Lions beginning at the 33. Sean Millington. Good run by Millington. And Hitchcock on that tackle as well. After an 8-yard gain, Millington is down.
Well, you think about how Sean Millington has come along throughout this season. I mean, he broke the Lions record in Saskatchewan, 212-yard rushing afternoon, and when he played against this team early in the season, he only carried the ball 4 times for 18 yards.
It's so true how he came on, Glenn, like you're saying, and it's ironic. Since the Corey Philpott injury, Sean Millington has 697 yards overall. He has 648 since Corey was out of the game. They had to shift gears and start giving him the football. It was a rebirth for him.
He too had a forgettable week in Winnipeg with 3 fumbles in the game against the Bombers. 2nd down, a long yard to go for BC. No problem for Sean Millington. No problem at all.
Well, Brad, Brad Yamoka, who comes in on the short yardage team, better get out of Millington's way, because he's the guy who made the tackle. Millington saw him and just ran right over him to pick up the first down.
Yeah, Big Sean ran over Mazzoli on the play previous, and this time he knows he's got to go north and south and pick up the first down, and Yamoka's in his way, and hey, I got to get those chains, buddy. You got to get out of my way.
From the 46, another Lions first down. BC leading 6-3. Allen is tracked down by Joe Montford. I thought it was a decent fake, but it didn't fool Joe.
Well, and that's Joe's job. He has to protect the wide side of the field. He's the contain man, and this is something Damon Allen likes to feature, is the bootleg off of a hard-running Sean Millington. Montford does his job, stays at home, and corrals Damon Allen.
And boy, when you, Dave, when you say he's a contained man, that's way easier said than done when you got a guy like Damon Allen one-on-one in space. Joe Mumford pulls him down. That was a heck of a tackle.
Loss is 9, making it 2nd and 19. Back at the BC 37 now. Allen for Larry Thompson. And he couldn't put a good move on there to advance the football for a first down. The gain is 4. The Lions will kick it away.
Had the middle screen on to Larry Thompson, tried to get some offensive line out in front, and Gerald Vaughn ran it down from behind. But Damon's doing all the things that he wanted to do in the game. He wanted to throw the ball underneath. He wanted to get Larry Thompson involved. He wanted to get Alfred Jackson involved. He certainly has Larry Thompson so far.
Pasaglia standing back near his 25. Sam Rogers deep for the Tiger Cats. Not deep. Rogers trying to cross the 35. He grabs about 4 after that. So it'll be Ticats first down. Adam Rita earlier this week, thinking back to last Friday.
And there was a couple of incidents during the course of the game that really had me looking at what we do and as coaches. And I came to the resolve that basically, you know, something had to be done to protect our players from any type of malicious type of play. And maybe the technique that I used wasn't the proper way to do it. And, you know, I must apologize for that because there are a lot of kids watching the program.
And this week, official letters of apology went out, as well as the fines handed out by the Canadian Football League. Total of $14,500 in fines. Each team fined $5,000. Rita and Robert Davis both paid $12.75 for their fines. This is second down, Hamilton. Long toss by Calvillo, far side, well read. Smith made the catch. Humphreys the tackle.
Boy, Leonard Humphreys had a great game against Hamilton. The first time these two teams met, had an interception for a touchdown. Here he is up here, and here's Humphreys just going to break up on the football when he sees it in the air. He's got the big cushion, about 12 yards, but he's got lots of time because that ball takes a while to get out there to close.
Well, Ashonde Smith was not on the line of scrimmage there. Maury Alley was, and he was 6 yards back in the backfield, and he ran his route too short. If he was on the line of scrimmage, he probably would have had enough for the first down.
Thompson is back in a third down kicking situation as Osbaldiston wobbles that one, and it rolls out with no return around the 35. There are markers down just 27 yards for Paul Osbaldiston.
Well, he worked on his mechanics for field goal kicks all week, so now the punting's suffering a little bit.
So we're looking at the situation.
Holding. BC 78, first down.
After the kick, so the Lions will be back inside their 30-yard line to begin this after the penalty.
Well, Hamilton was convinced that they were getting the football back, and their whole offense was on the field running down to the BC 27-yard line to line up. That would have been a heck of a holding call for them. But instead, it's BC's football.
They were selling it, though, weren't they? They were all on the field trying to convince the official that they had the football, but no shot.
Mike Withacombe leads the BC Lions out over the ball. First and 10 with Damon Allen at the controls and a 3-point BC lead. Allen begins at the 25. Sean Millington looked to be stopped and then found a way for about 4 extra yards. That's the end of quarter number 1 with the Lions on top 6-3. We'll send you back to Friday Night Football Control.
Friday Night Football tonight.
Friday Night Football, live at the quarter, is brought to you by Midas for new, longer-lasting carbon metallic brake pads.
And welcome back to our Friday Night Control studio. Rod Smith, of course, with Obi, Les, and Marty in a very good defensive football game. You know, with 2 of the best 3 defenses in the Canadian Football League, you'd expect it to be low scoring, and so far it is. But let's swing it around and talk about offense a bit. Les, Anthony Calvillo, he's taken a lot of criticism, much of it deserved this season. I'm sure he'd agree to that. But lately, it looks like he's coming on a little bit and showing flashes of his old self.
Well, you know, he's been struggling a lot. You know, he's been under different coordinators for a while and different receiving corps. They had mentioned at the top of the show, this is the 2nd time these guys have played together. Now, him and Prince Wembley have seen each other play together in Vegas, and they know each other quite well. But look at the confidence in the ball that he throws right here to Prince. I mean, last week he started to come on and throw nice balls and get his confidence back. And this week he's picking up where he left off. And that's good to see because this kid has been through a lot this year.
And Les, you're right about one thing. Their receiving corps this year with all the different changes, and their leading receiver is Earl Winfield. We know he hasn't played for about
Earl hasn't been around a while.
He still leads their team in receiving, and that's how bad their offense has been this year from a receiving standpoint.
As far as the BC Lions offense goes, they've had flashes of brilliance. They've had times like last week where they couldn't get it going, so it's never too late to tinker. I understand there's a certain receiver that the Lions are interested in, Marty.
Well, you know, Rod, when Adam Rita coached the Argos last year, he fell in love, he coached the offense. He fell in love with Jimmy the Jet Cunningham. Jimmy the Jet will be available very soon, and the Lions are making a bid for him, and they're preparing to try to outbid the Argos to bring Jimmy the Jet back, and Jimmy would be a great return guy, obviously, for them as well.
We have nothing but field goals so far in this football game. Louis Pasaglia 2, Paulus Baldiston 1, and a 6-3 lead for the Lions. Let's head back to John, Dave, and Glenn for the 2nd quarter.
And we're all set here at BC Place. Another great evening for football. Little rain in Vancouver today. Surprise, surprise, Glenn.
We actually had some pretty good weather the last few days, but as soon as you guys showed up from the east, it started raining.
That's what I love about coming to BC. You should have been here yesterday, say all the people who live out here, including Suter. 2nd and 4. Damon Allen has another first down. Larry Thompson, his most popular receiver. Same thing you were talking about.
I don't know how many times they're going to give the short side out route to Larry Thompson and Damon Allen. This is something that a lot of teams are doing, and Damon's just going to take it. He's a smart quarterback, been around a long time. He's going to be a Hall of Famer, and he's not stupid. He's going to take the shot.
A nifty 9 and another BC Lions first down. Thompson to the near side this time. Alfred Jackson, far side of the field. Lions at the 42. Philpott over the middle, trying to turn the corner. He does and has enough for the first down. The ball rolled out of bounds, but Philpott appeared to be the last player to touch it.
Well, Glenn, these are the kind of things they need to do with Corey Philpott. He's not a great route runner, but when you can run him across the field like this, he can use his speed, and you get him the ball. Now he does what he does best and run with it.
One of the hardest patterns to cover is that crossing route because you're always in a chase position, and Frank West about 4 steps behind Corey Philpott just couldn't catch him before that first down marker came up.
Right on midfield, Philpott has given the Lions another first down with a 13-yard gain.
Corey said he'd worked real hard this week. He said he'd been pretty stubborn this year about learning the offense. He said he really poured himself into it this week.
3 receivers to the near side as Allen operates out of the shotgun and finds Millington sneaking out of the backfield. Tough to bring down, but Millington is rolled out of bounds after a 9-yard gain. After the opening quarter, the numbers: first downs for BC 5, for the Tiger Cats 2, and it's close in a lot of other areas except time of possession.
Well, the time of possession is something that, David, you alluded to earlier, is the fact that the BC Lions going back to that little hitch game that they played so well early in the season.
Yeah, Damon just wants to move the football, keep moving the chains. Subsequently, they hang on to the ball. And it's really no news story for the Hamilton defense. They average about 35 minutes a game out of the 60 that you play.
2nd and 1 for the Lions now at the Tiger Cat 46. Damon Allen good on 10 of 13 thus far, 86 yards. Play action fake. Allen goes deep. Oh, and it was there.
Johnny Scott.
72, Johnny Scott snuck into the formation.
I couldn't
and got open.
I couldn't believe my eyes. I was watching Damon Allen, looking at him going to throw down the field. I looked down the field, and Big 72 is rumbling down there looking for the pass. He's the top of your screen, the end on the short yardage, and took off.
Well, Adam Rita says he might be their best athlete on their football team. They say he can stand at midfield or kneel on the field at midfield and throw the football into the end zone. Just a super athlete, and that would have been the gem of the film session tomorrow if he comes up with that catch.
Absolutely perfect. But now the Lions are looking at 3rd and a long one. However, they have Millington in the backfield. And it will be a first down.
You're right. That was a long one. That was almost 2 yards. That's a lot of confidence in your offensive line and the big 225-pound Millington to get that first down.
Well, I guarantee you the Hamilton Tiger Cats were not thinking about covering Johnny Scott on any play coming out of the backfield. So Adam Rita throws a little wrinkle at him. It doesn't complete the pass, but interesting to see the big guy run down the field and look for the ball.
Inches to spare for Sean Millington as the Lion drive continues. BC on top.
Well, we saw Johnny Scott running down the football field trying to catch a pass and showing some pretty good speed. He's 265 pounds. Think about Anthony Calvillo standing on the other sideline thinking, hey, this guy's coming after me with that kind of speed.
Yikes.
Lions continue the drive inside the 45 at the 44 now. Good fake to Millington. Look for Philpott, and Philpott couldn't make the catch, but he was submarined by Lamar McGriggs.
Well, the play initially was snuffed out by Joe Mumford, who came up the corner and didn't allow Damon Allen to get right outside, and then the great speed of Lamar McGriggs closes on Corey Philpott, and nothing's happening on that play, even if he catches the ball.
You know what I see from Damon Allen the last couple of weeks? You see Lamar McGriggs coming in and chopping the pins out on a guy that's had a bad knee all year long, Corey Philpott. But Damon just doesn't seem to be making the crisp decisions that he made in the previous games. The last 2 games, he really doesn't seem like he's finding the open guy.
2nd and 10. There's an open guy, and Mazzoli has his 2nd catch.
See, I knew I could kickstart him.
Frank West on the tackle. You just speak, and it happens. I love it.
All you got to do is talk about a guy and make sure that you talked about Trevathan last week. They weren't getting him the ball, all of a sudden he gets it. Now you talk about Damon not following the open guy, and this ball's right on the money, right out of the break to Mazzoli.
Nick Mazzoli last year with Edmonton only played in 8 games, had injury problems with his hamstring, and he had about 350 yards. But this is a guy who a couple years back had over 1,000.
Lions at the Tiger Cat 32. This one's picked up. Here's the opportunity for Steinauer. It's only Allen that can make the tackle and slow him down. Steinauer's still going. Somehow, he's got an opportunity to follow Eric Carter into the end zone. Needs a block, and he gets it all the way for the touchdown. It was 80 yards, but I think he ran about 125.
Orlando Steinauer coming into this game was number 2 in the league in interceptions, and he'd been shut out over about the last 5 or 6 weeks. He said, I'm going to get me one tonight, and he jumped the hitch route. This is something they like to feature. He jumped the hitch route and took it back. Made a nice move on Damon Allen also.
You have to have great ball sense, and it seems like Orlando Steinauer has that. Because if you're going to jump a hitch play like Steinauer did on that last one, you have to have confidence that you know that that's where he's going, and that takes film work and that ball sense.
And you know the beauty of this is he's from Seattle, and he's got about 50 members of his family up here, aunts, uncles, cousins, anybody that actually knows Orlando Steinauer from the Seattle area is here tonight. So that's so sweet. His mom's here. That's got to be a big one for him. And
well, I bet you she's right there at the end of that pass. Osbaldiston converts the Tiger Cats' first touchdown of the ball game. Hamilton on top on a brilliant 80-yard touchdown return by Orlando Steinauer.
That just goes into what I'm saying. Damon's just, I think he's struggling. I don't think he's seeing
5 interceptions this year.
6. That's his 6th.
6th.
Look, boy, I know. I was trying to celebrate with you all night. Just 2 more buckets. I realize
Osbaldiston's kickoff after the Ticat touchdown. This is Rashid Gale returning for BC. Took a pretty good hit. Justin Ring in on the play. Orlando Steinauer, an 80-yard touchdown return.
That's just a great play outside by the corner because they had 0 coverage on Glenn. It was man coverage across the board. You saw Rob Hitchcock right before the snap came up, the free safety, and now this is just missed tackles. Larry Thompson missed the tackle, and now some of his boys come to help him.
Follow me, says Eric Carter for 1.
Eric Carter gets him a block on Sean Millington, allows him to get in.
Actually, Millington was blocked twice on that play, I think.
I guarantee you at the end of that, he had a baby grand piano on his back. His legs were so tired.
Ticats handed off to Corey Philpott. Great run. Tackled by Rob Hitchcock. A little more reminiscent of Corey Philpott from 1996 and years prior. 17 yards.
Well, Corey Philpott's had some trouble with his knee. He has a little bit of a cartilage tear in there, and you talk to him about it, he says, sometimes I'll hit a run like this, it'll feel great, then I'll get up to tie my shoe or bend over or move my knee just a little bit, and it'll pinch, and I'll be gone for about a whole quarter. So it's weird when it happens, and he can't predict it.
Philpott again takes a swing pass sliding out of the backfield. Running with a purpose tonight. A 12-yard gain, and there's a marker down far side. McGreg's on the tackle. Hitchcock as well.
Well, running with a purpose is exactly what he's trying to do. He's trying to prove that he deserves to be on the field and be a featured part of this offense. And the last 2 plays, he's making a case.
Major foul. Face mask. Hamilton, number 2. First down.
That's Eric Carter. Costly penalty for the Tiger Cats.
Eric Carter got flagged last week for being offside on a fumble play on the goal line against Calgary that would have killed the drive and actually won the game for Hamilton. And so he's been tied up on some bad plays here the last couple of weeks.
BC with 11 first downs. The Tiger Cats have the lead. And flags down as that play is whistled down. What did you see there? Who was moving first?
Well, Corey Philpott was about 15 yards downfield, and the ball didn't look like it was snapped on time.
Illegal procedure. BC number 6.
You got it.
Still first down.
Well, Philpott gets nailed on the illegal procedure. I think that Damon Allen was trying to deliberately draw Hamilton offside. Here's Philpott up at the top. But Philpott and Mike Trevathan on the opposite side were trying to get a little bit of a jump, and Damon Allen really barked out the singles. I think he tried to draw him, and it backfired.
Got a guy out in the slot that's not used to running the line of scrimmage and timing up the snap.
On 1st and 15, Philpott makes the catch. Better than halfway to a first down. Montford made the tackle. The gain is 10 yards for Corey Philpott.
Well, Adam Rita said that Corey Philpott had a great week of practice, and he's proven it, going up high to make the catch and then getting north and south.
He's been responsible for this drive so far for the BC Lions, looking at 2nd and 5 now at the Ticats 32. Allen with time, looking deep for Jackson. A little too far. Did not miss by much. Jackson was in behind the defender.
Well, Alfred Jackson's story is he's back in the lineup. Missed last week versus Winnipeg with a knee problem, and Adam Rita had some concerns as to whether or not he would be able to make it through this whole game. And boy, he's got breakaway speed, and I don't know, that ball was awfully close. Had he had a healthy knee, he might have run underneath it.
Lou Pasaglia in his first 2. This will be spotted by Giulio Caravana at the 39. Lou Pasaglia is 3 for 3. The Lions narrow the gap to a point. It's 10-9. Hamilton. Hamilton on Friday Night Football. Charlie Carpenter with words of advice for Bradley and Withacombe. Ticats have the ball with the BC offense on the bench. Calvillo has Morreale. Flags are down. Morreale, nice run to turn it into 10 yards if it stands.
Well, Leonard Humphreys broke up to try and make the tackle, and I believe Ashonde Smith may get called on the clipping.
Penalty against the Tiger Cats, indicated by Dave Ewell. .7:47 to go till halftime.
Illegal block. Hamilton 86. First down repeated.
Way to go, Suits.
Well, it was right at the point of attack, and Ashonde Smith is in charge of blocking the corner, Leonard Humphreys. Here he comes across to your left and hits him in the middle of the back.
So the Ticats looking at 1st and 20 now, back at the 25-yard line. Calvillo pumps once, can't find anyone open, then lost the ball momentarily, but he's down by Johnny Scott. Virgil Robertson celebrating as well. And Calvillo shaken up.
Well, pretty good coverage. See Calvillo being attended to. Pretty good coverage downfield from the BC Lions, who are just in a basic 3-deep zone defense, which means 3 people deep, everyone else underneath. But the good thing they do about it, and why Calvillo can't find a receiver, is they jam all the receivers at the line of scrimmage and reroute them, make them go out of their lanes, and it ruins their timing.
Obviously not good news for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Anthony Calvillo missed a couple of games earlier this season with an injury, and he'll be out for a while right now. Ticats have a 1-point lead, but their starting quarterback is heading to the sidelines. Back to BC Place and Friday Night Football as Foggy warms up at the Hamilton bench.
Hey, John Hines.
Anthony Calvillo on the turf at BC Place Stadium. And here's how it happened moments ago.
Well, Calvillo can't find anybody, and Joe Fleming, Johnny Scott get involved, rolled down on his knee, and they're looking at his knee. Anthony Calvillo's had some injury problems this year. Earlier he hurt his groin and also had a bit of a concussion.
This was the hit in the game against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers that put Calvillo out for a couple of games. Nick Ferguson, number 33, decked him. Some controversy on the play.
Yeah.
Lots of people talking about it being a late hit that time.
Well, we've talked a little bit about last week, and Adam Reed, as you saw Calvillo's head hit the ground, that's how he got the concussion. But that play right there is added to some others, including some from last week, that Adam Reed has put together and is sending to the league.
Well, the hit last week by Robert Davis definitely was a cheap shot. It was a little questionable on Ferguson as well. So Foggy warms up. Calvillo heads to the Tiger Cat bench, completing 5 of 6 for 77 yards. Had a pretty good start. But I'm not so sure we'll see him back tonight.
Well, he's not putting any weight on that right leg. It doesn't look good. Sorry, John, it's been that kind of year for Hamilton, though. I mean, Anthony Calvillo had a pretty good game last week. Looked like he was starting to get back on track, and then he gets hurt, and Urban Bowman just doesn't matter. It could be a penalty to stop a drive, an interception, a fumble, or an injury. It's been that kind of year for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
So enter Ricky Foggy facing 2nd and 26 back at the Tiger Cats 19. Not a very enviable spot. Hands off to the fullback, Janelle Jourdain. Foggy joined the Tiger Cats in week 8.
completing 51% of his passes this year. He played in the Arena Football League with New Jersey the last couple of years, and of course has spent some time in Toronto and Memphis. BC too, right?
That's right. Longer time ago.
2 and out. Let's go.
Osbaldiston didn't get a good kick away last time. Now he's standing at his 7-yard line. Lions will have superb field position with any kind of a return at all. Here's Larry Thompson looking to cross the 45 and hesitated, barely got across. Waited and waited and waited and turned it into a 3-yard return. Anthony Calvillo, the Ticats starting quarterback, in pain on the near sidelines at the Hamilton bench.
Well, that's unfortunate for Calvillo if that's a bad injury. See him checking the knee, but you know, I guess I'm one of the only guys left still in this league that thinks Calvillo could still be a great quarterback in this league. I think he just has to be in the right offense, and this one hasn't fit him so far.
Oh, you're not the only one. I played against him when he was in Vegas. I think he's got all the tools.
Sean Millington has as well. He is a tough guy to bring down. Millington all the way to the 35-yard line. Finally, Carter drags him down, and Millington wants a roar from the crowd. 15 yards. Typical Millington.
Nothing fancy about what Sean Millington does. He just hits the hole, and then it's all him. He takes off and just makes people miss and runs right over. Rob Hitchcock tries to make the tackle. He's a pretty good tackler in the open field.
6th carry for Millington. He has 38 yards. Alfred Jackson trying to scoop it off the turf. Allen missed there.
And just to go back to your thought, David Archer, about Anthony Calvillo. I mean, he's in Las Vegas a couple years back, and I played against, I used to call it the fast break offense, and we talked about Prince Wimbley being part of that offense, and he used to just drop back and throw it deep. It was all goes all the time, and I thought at that time, this young guy is going to have a great future in the Canadian Football League because he's got all the skills.
A couple of 500-yard games passing for Calvillo in '96. Lions with the football now. Allen from the shotgun on 2nd and 10, far side, and he's off target again, looking for Thompson. Carter was covering.
Well, Larry Carter knows they want to throw that short side out route also, and he really clamped it this time and made it a tough throw for Damon Allen, and this time he couldn't get it in there.
If that ball is thrown a little bit behind Larry Thompson, Eric Carter is going the other way.
Joe Montford was also injured on that series. Pasaglia for Steinauer, taking it on the run, drawing a flag, and he's out to the 15 as we bring in David Pratt at the Ticat bench.
Well, the situation with Calvillo is not very good. He's got torn up knee ligaments, and no question about it, he is gone for the rest of the game. The question now, is he gone for the rest of the season? And we'll know that probably at halftime. Back to you, John.
All right, David, thank you for that. Pretty obvious that
BC 25.
Anthony is in some
First
pain.
down.
Penalty on the return was against Millington, so the Lions give up a few more yards to the Tiger Cats, and a better spot to begin for Ricky Foggy out of the 25. Ashande Smith, 3 catches for 62 yards last week. Out to the near side with 2 other receivers. Foggy looks the other way and has his target, Archie Amerson. Amerson should have a first down as Foggy beat the blitz.
Well, this is a very active linebacking core of the BC Lions, and Maurice Kelly is having a great year. He's got 3 sacks, 3 fumble recoveries. He leads the league in forced fumbles, and you see him coming off the corner and putting a little pressure on Ricky Foggy.
And credit Ricky Foggy for standing in with the blitz coming and making a nice throw to Archie Amerson, showing his versatility to get out in the slot and making a grab.
From the 36, 1st and 10, Tiger Cats. Foggy caught in the backfield, got it away, and he'll come up with another first down. Jonel Jourdain, number 33, playing in his 2nd game as a Tiger Cat. Foggy really makes the play here for a 16-yard gain.
Well, it's a super athletic move, Glenn, right here. And Yonel Jourdain, in my opinion, has really upgraded their backfield.
We talked about Damon Allen in space. Virgil Roberts is a pretty good athlete himself, and he was right up there with David Benefield, and Ricky Foggy made them both miss.
Ticats out near midfield now. Still at the Hamilton side of the 52. Pretty good stick in there by the middle linebacker, Kelly Lockbaum.
Well, Kelly Lockbaum went to high school out in Abbotsford here in the Lower Mainland, so he has a lot of family and friends out watching him. And Adam Rita really feels like number 33 in the middle of your screen that he's found his run stopper. From tackle to tackle, Kelly Lockbaum's pretty good.
Loss of a yard. Ticats staring at 2nd and 11. Big play for the BC defense. Foggy from the shotgun. Nice pass. Morreale makes the catch. What a great play for the Tiger Cats to get inside the BC 39-yard line. How did that happen?
Oh, I'm telling you, there's probably not any quarterbacks in the league that would throw that one again. I mean, this one should have been picked off, and just the great size of Mike Morreale at 6'3" goes up and makes the catch.
Anthony Calvillo on the sidelines for the Tiger Cats. Timeout as we head toward halftime on Friday Night Football. The boys beside me in the booth say Leonard Humphreys should have had his 4th interception of the season right here.
Well, Leonard Humphreys up at the top of your screen right here, and he sees the play all the way. A little post pattern, he rides that in and then sees the wheel from Morreale. Now he sees it right there, but hesitates, and he who hesitates in this game loses. Humphreys should have had himself one.
Rick Foggy looks to the end zone. Why not to Morreale again? There should be a flag there, and there is. Rashid Gale pushed Morreale away from the football, and that draws a couple of flags.
Well, when you talk about mismatches between sizes, Rashid Gale is 5'8".
Pass interference. BC 14. First down.
Rashid Gale is 5'8", and Mike Morreale is 6'3". And the 5'8" guy just decided, hey, I'm going to tackle this big guy in the end zone.
Well, you can see the height difference right there. I mean, Rashid Gale's head was right in the numbers of Morreale, and not a bad play. No safety in the middle. Everyone goes deep, and Ricky Foggy's been to this dance before, recognizes the defense and throws it up.
Net result, a 28-yard gain for the Tiger Cats. 1st and goal to go.
Oh.
1. Amerson didn't make it. Joe Fleming and Johnny Scott on the goal line stand with Kelly Lockbaum.
Oh, yeah.
Over the top.
Kelly Lockbaum came over the top on this play and planted one right there in the middle of Archie Amerson's number.
Well, you got to give an assist to Maurice Kelly for tying the legs up and stopping the downfield throw also.
2 more cracks at it for the Tiger Cats from the BC one. This time, Foggy himself. He has the angle and the touchdown. Ricky Foggy, no markers anywhere, and the Ticats have a surprising lead on the BC Lions. Couple of big plays, and that's all you need sometimes.
Well, an interesting look defensively from the BC Lions. At the top of your screen, you're going to see number 40, Greg Frères, who generally doesn't have contained responsibility on any defense, but was asked to be in contain on this one. He's not familiar with it, and he didn't play it very well.
Lou Pasaglia lines up for the point after Ricky Foggy's touchdown. Lions had an opportunity at the 1-yard line after the interference call and took advantage of their 2nd crack at it.
Because Damian is looking this way. He can't see it. He's got to get missed. Okay, I seen it.
So Foggy into the end zone for the touchdown, and it's the Ticats leading 17-9.
Greg Frères is asked to come up to the outside right over here and take contained responsibilities, and Yonel Jourdain takes him out right here. No one in containment. Foggy takes advantage of it.
And Jourdain got 2 blocks there. You're right, Glenn. He got the block on Maurice Kelly and then got the block on Frères, and a good drive for Foggy coming off the bench. Had a couple of big completions, and then the big penalty boots it in for a touch.
Ricky Foggy's career. His best year was probably in 1992 with the Argos when he had over 3,500 yards and 18 touchdown passes. So it was really the only year he got consistent playing time and played pretty well.
Larry Thompson to return for the Lions, trailing by 8. A marker down at the 30-yard line. Foggy, a pretty solid night thus far. You can't get much better than this. 3 for 3, 57 yards, and then you take it the rest of the way yourself on a 1-yard touchdown run.
You talk about great athletic quarterbacks. I mean, Ricky Foggy is very athletic.
BC number 3, first down.
He's got great running ability and a real strong arm. As a reliever, though, you talk about him as a reliever, he's really only had 2 years where he's thrown over 50%. That was 94 in Memphis and 1990 in Toronto. But he did have that 1 year that I just mentioned in 92 where he completed about 55% of his passes.
And he tutored under this guy right here in Edmonton and in Memphis. So he has some of the same similarities as Damon Allen.
Damon Allen has to sharpen up his game a little bit. Now trailing again. Millington sliding out of the backfield. K.D. Williams made the tackle and forced him out. 6 yards the gain.
Well, you mentioned, David, that Damon Allen and Ricky Foggy played together in Memphis, and before the game they had a long discussion and chatted about the old days, I'm sure.
2nd and 4. Lions at the 24 and trailing the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Good one-handed catch by Corey Philpott, sliding out of the background, and he's dragged down by Gerald Vaughn. They got a hand on the shoulder pads and the back of the sweater, keeping the gain, or at least limiting the gain to 12 yards.
This looks like an easy throw for a quarterback, but you really have to put some touch on it, yet get it out in front of the receiver. And as you see, Corey helps his quarterback out a little bit. Philpott reaches behind and makes the catch. And boy, I really like the way they're using Corey Philpott. They're running the football with him, but they're making him catch the ball underneath on screens and little crossing routes, and they have him involved.
Philpott having a great night thus far. 1st and 10, Lions at the 36. Allen pump fakes once and now looks deep, far side. Now for Jackson, the target. Carter was covering, and Jackson couldn't stay in bounds. Allen hit the turf.
Well, back-to-back plays that Damon Allen, as he's released the football, has been hit pretty hard. On the last play, it was Willie Whitehead. And on this play, I believe it was Mike Philbrick.
Definitely out of bounds there, Glenn. The ball was thrown too wide. But as you said, the pressure's been coming from these big guys up front most of the game. And this time, Philbrick gets in and twists the knee. And that's a knee that he's been nursing a lot of the year.
2nd and 10, Lions at the 37. Allen looks to take off, now decides to throw over the middle at the 50-yard line. Big hit on Allen as he got it away.
That's 3 plays in a row now that Allen's gone down, and that may have been the biggest hit of the bunch right there. He took a huge hit right in the back as he threw that one.
Yeah, Willie Whitehead comes in and nails him from behind. As you said, 2 times he's been hit consecutively. Willie Whitehead's one of these kind of guys who just continues to come. He sees Allen float up, and boom, big hit in the back.
Trevor Shaw made the catch, but up for a 1st down. Allen got some heat again. Philpott makes the catch, and he took a pretty good hit from Montford, along with K.D. Williams.
Well, you know, I think right now that Hamilton defense is disguising coverage well, and Damon Allen is forced to hold the ball a little longer than he'd like to, maybe scramble around a little bit more than he wants to. Right now, Joe Mumford and that defense is doing a nice job disguising things.
Corey Philpott, 21 rushing yards, 39 receiving, 78 yards for Philpott thus far tonight. Allen from the shotgun on 2nd and 10, looks to the far side, and they say no catch. Larry Thompson. Thompson, a popular target, couldn't make this one.
Yeah, Larry Thompson definitely should have come up with the catch on that play, but boy, Mike Trevathan right here comes down the seam, and is wide open. Damon Allen does not see him. He gets inside position on Gerald Vaughn and is pretty much open, and the ball's off, and that's a ball that Larry Thompson has got to come up with.
Well, in defense of Damon Allen on that play, when Trevathan broke to the inside, as a quarterback, you're looking for coverage, recognition of coverage. And as soon as he saw he had man coverage with Thompson to the outside, his eyes went out there. He knew he had a one-on-one matchup. He made a good decision and a good throw. They just didn't catch the ball.
It was a really good throw. I mean, that was on a rope.
So Allen is on the sidelines. Rob Hitchcock is the injured Hamilton Tiger Cat, the starting safety, number 42.
Rob Hitchcock's having a pretty good year for himself. 3 interceptions. He's added 4 knockdowns. He's had some pretty big hits in the middle of the field, and
looks like he ran into his own guy.
he's up at the top of your screen working on Mo Elowanibi. Gets hit by his own guy, Calvin Tickle.
Got hit by Elowanibi, and then he got hit by Tiggle, and safeties don't like to be down there anyway. What's he doing down there? I mean, you got to credit Rod Hitchcock, though. As Walters comes in to take his slot on special teams, you know, Hitchcock got benched early in the year, and he's really kept a good attitude.
Good punt by Pasaglia. The play is whistled down with 2 flags. Sam Rogers was deep for the Tiger Cats. Procedure call going against BC.
Getting back to Hitchcock, he got benched earlier in the year and really kept a good positive attitude. Continued to worked hard on special teams, and when the opportunity came again for him to get back on the field, he came out with a renewed vigor, and he's been popping people ever since he's been back on the field.
I mean, this is a guy that 1995 was Hamilton's nominee for the Rookie of the Year.
BC 78.
But you're right, when he was replaced, he kept that great attitude. Aaron Ruffin was the guy who replaced him, who is now on the practice roster.
Harry Van Hopwagen takes the penalty for BC. It's 3rd down. And Hitchcock will likely be back in the game in the second half. Pasaglia will kick it again, back at the 30-yard line this time. Pasaglia looks to get it away, completed the pass to Millington, who's wrapped up in a hurry. So I don't know, were they thinking fake all the way or just the big rush was on? There's 36 seconds left on the clock, so the Ticats have an opportunity here to add more points to their total.
Well, I think the rush was coming. It was Orlando Steinauer from the top. He comes off the corner.
Ineligible receiver. BC 25. Penalties declined. 1st down.
Well, heads up play from this side of the field. Orlando Steinauer gets the pressure, and Louis Pasaglia sees that this may be blocked. Takes it down and then tries to make something out of nothing and actually completes the pass, which, by the way, makes him 19 for 32 passing in his career.
But Sean Millington lined up incorrectly and was an ineligible receiver. So it'll be 1st down for the Tiger Cats. Chance to put some points on the board. Morreale, great catch. They're in field goal range with 31 seconds to go till halftime. Foggy has been very effective passing the football.
Super catch by Mike Morreale. This has been a new life for him. Also, last week had 7 catches for 120 yards. His first 100-yard game of his career. Talked to him before the game. Really excited. Run on. He and Andrew Grigg, both those guys getting more time playing with the injuries to Bert Thornton and the absence of Earl Winfield. These 2 guys are stepping up and making a lot of plays, and that's the 2nd big catch for Morreale tonight.
And when you talk about good attitudes, I mean, here's Mike Morreale, who's just now, like you said, getting involved in the offense, but this guy leads the team in special teams tackles, so he contributes where he can, and now he's very happy to be involved catching the football as well.
Ticats took a timeout to talk this one over. Ricky Foggy now 4 for 4, has a chance to add 6, but he should come away with at least 3 for the 1st down at the BC 24. On target, Foggy is 5 for 5. Shonda Smith as they go into the hurry-up offense. 26 seconds till halftime. Ticats are fired up and smelling blood here. Foggy in relief with Anthony Calvillo on the sidelines with a knee injury. 24 seconds till halftime. Ticats have a 17-9 lead, and Foggy looks to the far side, bounced it once. Looking for Terry Guess. That's the first time they've gone in his direction.
Well, Ricky had Guess early. Guess is now in the game for Andrew Grigg and had Guess open early, but he waited, and then Guess turned upfield, and he throws the ball out there after Guess has turned his back. But they're going to try the field goal here with, and obviously it's third down, but that was an opportunity for them to extend the drive. He could have hit Guess. He could have had another shot at the end zone.
That was the plan, but Andrew Grigg will put it down for Paul Osbaldiston. Spotted at the 25-yard line. And it's a much better night for Ozzie, who hits another one as the Ticats will head to the dressing room with a nice little cushion. Well, the hometown BC Lions.
I don't know if guys are scoring along with me, but the way I got it, you see Anthony Calvillo is likely gone for the game, but the way I score this one, Orlando Steinauer accounts for 10 Hamilton points. He had the huge interception for a touchdown and was key ingredient on special teams to make Louis pull it down. They didn't get the punt off. Foggy gets the 3 points out of it.
Hey, offensive line. Good work.
Foggy is 5 of 6, 81 yards. And he just missed the opportunity you were talking about there to the newcomer, Terry Guess.
Yeah, he waited a little too long for Prince Wimbley, who was running a corner route, try to get it in the end zone. If he went ahead and squeezed the trigger and hit Guess out in the flat, Guess would have picked up the first down and given him another chance to throw one in the end zone. But the incompletion resulted in the 3, and they'll take the 3. That was a gift 3. You probably think that with the punt, they would have been pinned in their own end. But the great play by Steinauer gave Foggy an opportunity as he's come in for Anthony Calvillo. And you can only hope that the report on Anthony Calvillo is less serious than they've said.
Well, it doesn't look good as Calvillo heads to the medical room now. 12 seconds to go till halftime. Ticats have the lead, 20-9 on the BC Lions. Larry Thompson behind his 10. Good move by Thompson, and not much after the 30-yard line. 5 seconds to go. And Damon Allen, good on 17 of 28 for 153 yards. Has to get his game in shape. Calvillo will need a little help from the medics.
Well, Damon's done the things that he wanted to do. He wanted to keep the game simple. He's throwing the ball underneath. He's got Corey Philpott involved. He's got most of his receivers involved. This will just be a kill the clock, and let's go in and sort this thing out.
Bit of a surprise at BC Place Stadium tonight, with the Lions trying to rebound from a tough loss last week at 7-6, taking on the Tiger Cats at 1-12. But it's the Ticats on top, and it's halftime. Calvillo heads to the medical room. Adam Rita heads to the dressing room to try and figure things out on Friday Night Football.
All right, thank you very much, John. Hey, special teams, defense, offense, all leading to points for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Not the sign of a 1-12 team. They're playing much above that tonight and leading the BC Lions to the locker room. Well, just managed to get Les Brown calmed down now after that Orlando Steinauer touchdown. Hey, Les, some would say that's just great athletic skill, but others would say it's good coaching, too. What do you think?
Well, no, I'd say it's great athletic skill. This kid is not only good with his physical game, but he gets in the classroom and he does what the stuff that needs to be done in the classroom as well.
What you tell him to do.
Yeah, it's also, he studies film. He knows that these guys like to run a lot of hitch plays. He sat on this one perfect and took it 80 yards back to the house. The only thing I have a problem with is that gorilla jumped on his back at about the 40, and then he's had trouble getting in the end zone. There goes Eric trying to lead the directions instead of blocking.
He had the whole zoo on his back, not just the gorilla.
But that's excellent play. And this kid is well-deserved for that to happen to him because he works real hard.
So the defense contributes offensively. What could have been disastrous news and what could well be disastrous news, Anthony Calvillo will be playing much better if late goes down, but Ricky Foggy looks pretty good in his stead.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Hamilton's play offensively, and the fact that it's been a short week. Ricky Foggy's come in and he's done some things on his athletic ability. That drive for the touchdown, he avoided the rush the one time, made a great throw out to Morreale, and then came back with another good one over the middle. So Foggy's really looking good right now.
Ricky Foggy was Damon Allen's understudy in Memphis.
Yes.
He learned a lot from Damon Allen. But let's talk about Damon Allen for a second. I mean, one of the reasons that he's been able to stay in this league for 13 years is that he's been so resilient. But he's been taking some very hard hits lately, including that cheap shot from Robert Davis last week. And I'm starting to wonder whether these hard hits are really taking their toll on Damon Allen, because he only completed 17 passes for 153 yards in that first half. He also gave up the interception that you just talked about, Les, and no touchdowns for BC. So I think there's something wrong with Damon Allen.
When you're
right
putting
now.
pressure on a quarterback like that, of course he's going to start thinking about who's coming around that corner to hit him next.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
That's the best thing you can do against a quarterback is hit him a few times in the mouth, and that seems to make a difference in their accuracy.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, after they beat the Edmonton Eskimos, they looked so impressive. But since then, taking on Winnipeg and Hamilton, the two worst teams in the league, BC has not looked very good. They lost to the Bombers last week. They're losing right now at the half, 20-9. We'll be back with more Friday Night Football right after this.
Friday Night Football. Boys are being bad, playing CFL football. Game is up for grabs. It's Friday Night Football tonight.
Welcome back to Friday Night Football. It is Hamilton leading BC at the half by a score of 20-9. This is game 1 of week 14. The other 3 games are all on Sunday, including the Toronto Argonauts taking on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Winnipeg on a bit of a high after beating the BC Lions last Friday night at Winnipeg Stadium, although they hosted the Argos 2 weeks ago, and they were slaughtered. The Argos at 11-2, 2 points ahead of the Montreal Alouettes for first place in the East. Also on Sunday, the Montreal Alouettes, the team trailing the Argos on the heels of 7 straight wins. Montreal will just not go away. As far as the Argos are concerned, the Owls in Calgary to take on the Stamps, who are above 500, tied with BC, and can move into a tie for first should this team lose. The Edmonton Eskimos taking on the Saskatchewan Roughriders at Taylor Field. Now, Edmonton has beaten Saskatchewan twice this season so far, but they have been close games, and the Eskies know against the Green Riders, you can expect them all to be close.
I think the guys realize how important this game is just to get into the whole feeling of the playoffs. Last 4 weeks have not been what we wanted them to be, and the guys are really focusing this week and not really taking this game as a playoff game, but you can tell just by the atmosphere in the locker room that the guys are a lot more intense than what we have been in the past couple of weeks.
We had a chance to pull ahead of the pack, and we didn't do that. So as a result, I mean, every game is important, but this certainly is going to be a big one, playing against Saskatchewan in Regina.
And a note about Leo Groenewegen, quite an accomplishment. The Eskimo offensive lineman will be playing in his 195th consecutive game. Hasn't missed a single game in his career, and has tied former Rough Rider Glenn Suter, a guy we know quite well, for 9th.
Who?
Yeah, Glenn Suter, yeah. Consecutive game streak in CFL history. 9th on that list. Congratulations to Leo Groenewegen. About the Alouettes, Marty, and the Calgary Stampeders. Interesting matchup here. I remember when they met back in week 3, Calgary was in the midst of a tailspin, and they lost that one, although it turned out to be a close game. But Montreal's won 7 straight games.
Right, and I haven't been able to check this, but I'm told that the 7 wins in a row is the longest winning streak in the history of the Montreal Alouettes. We're even talking about the old Alouettes. And I really think you have to credit Dave Ritchie for what he's done with that team. They've just had a remarkable season. They're within reach of the Argos. I mean, it's going to set up a heck of a...
Yeah, I hope it stays this way all the way through. I mean, you know, don't get me wrong, Coach Ritchie. I hope you win a few games to catch up with them. But what a matchup at the end of the season when they host each other twice back-to-back, Toronto and Montreal.
Well, I think that's a good matchup for this situation, but they better not look past Calgary this week because they're playing in Calgary's backyard, right. And Calgary lost a tough game in Montreal. Where Coach Ritchie deserves a lot of credit is they've won a lot of close games this year that they could have lost. So no matter how you win, the important point is to get the 2 points. And Calgary's got a chance to get in first place even. So this is going to be a tough game for them in Calgary.
Yeah, let's not underestimate the ability of Wally Buono, too, because he's got an incredibly high coaching winning percentage.
This is a game of the coaches right now, huh?
Yeah, I think Ritchie and Buono is a very interesting matchup.
No, they're both doing a good job with their teams this year. And, of course, Wally's coming back from a lot of adversity at the beginning of the season. So it'll be a great game on Sunday with those two.
By the way, Calgary is favored by 2.5 points in that game, even though Montreal's the hottest team in the CFL right now. Consider
also that how tight things could be in the West. I mean, if Hamilton should beat BC, should Calgary win its game, should Edmonton lose to Saskatchewan? Talk about a lot of shoulds here.
Yeah.
You got the Stampeders tied with the Eskimos in first in the West, and it's harder to imagine earlier in the season.
Well, we talked about it at the beginning of the season that the Western Division was going to be a dogfight. The thing that we were kind of having some disagreements about is who was going to be in first, and we didn't think they'd be in first by a lot, but the rest of those teams could all win.
Well, the BC Lions could be in first place after tonight if they can make a bit of a comeback. They're down by 11 points. Should they win, they'd be tied with Edmonton. Meantime, the band just keeps playing. Lions down by 11 to Hamilton. Coming up, we'll look at the CIU. Time for our Chevy Cavalier CIAU Top 10. To the Ottawa Ute-Gee-Gees now #1 after Marty York's York Yeoman.
Yes, the York Yeoman.
My alma mater. Waterloo, previously unbeaten, so Ottawa on top. And check out the UBC Thunderbirds and the Manitoba Bisons.
And Guelph moved up.
Yeah, Guelph is moving up as well. Well, that is our match to catch from the Canada West Conference.
State.
UBC #8. Manitoba #9. Boy, the Bison's program is resurgent, and UBC was in the Canada West Championship, lost to the eventual national champions Saskatchewan Huskies in the Canada West final last year. Our match to catch in Winnipeg. Well, at BC Place tonight, the Hamilton Tiger Cats have got points with offense, defense, and special teams, and they have the 11-point lead in the locker room. Let's head back there now. John Wells, Dave Archer, and Glenn Suter.
Lots of questions here for BC Lions tonight. Where's the spark? Where's the sizzle? Why have they been flat for 6 straight quarters?
Well, I can't understand this. I mean, they went into Winnipeg and really were flat throughout that whole game and lost it and really deserved to lose it. Adam Rita said they didn't play very well, and for the first half of this game, they're flat again. And they couldn't have overestimated Hamilton. They played well, and they knew they had to win tonight.
Well, my theory on the whole thing is the fact that they were so pumped up all week long with the fines and everything being levied and their quarterback getting drilled and knowing that they were going to come out. Did they leave it on the practice field? I think that they had some great practices this week. That's all we heard about was how well they practiced, how they were flying around. They may have left it on the practice
field. They might have done that. Here are the numbers from the opening half at BC Place, and the Tiger Cats with an 11-point lead, leading in several categories, but the BC Lions still with double time of possession of the Tiger Cats. However, Hamilton does have the lead. Mike Toth coming up with a TSN Sports Update before we take you back to the stadium at BC Place for the second half of Friday Night Football.
Hey, don't forget, sometimes you might want to just use your run package, 3-man rush against it, and they're going to say 7 guys in. We got them outnumbered in coverage.
Adam Rita saying yesterday that he was worried about his own personal preparation for this game because of all the events since last Friday night in Winnipeg.
Yeah, he talked about how he really didn't get to apply himself as much as he would have liked to. He felt like his coaches had his team prepared very well, and Urban Bowman, his team comes in here with no pressure. They come in here.
None whatsoever at 1-12, huh?
Well, the pressure that they do have is the pride factor, and that means a lot. You put your signature on every play and every film that you send out across the league, and those guys are trying to sign this one nice.
Tiger Cats have the lead by 11 points, second half. Just underway. Jourdain returning for the Tiger Cats, and a not bad return at about the 32-yard line. Gonell Jourdain, Ricky Foggy will start the second half for Hamilton with Anthony Calvillo on the sidelines with a knee injury. And Foggy did engineer 1 touchdown, took it in himself from 1 yard away, 5 of 6 passing, 81 yards.
Ricky's job now will be to come in and take care of the football, not turn it over in his end of the field and do some of the things he did at the end of the first half.
Ashonde Smith to the near side. First down, Hamilton, beginning near the 33. Foggy with time and a target open over his head. Looking for Smith, and let's bring in David Pratt.
Well, John, I talked to the head coach of the Lions, Adam Rita, just after the half, and he said really the surprise of the half was that his team was so uptight and that they weren't executing. As far as he's concerned, there'll be no changes of any really importance in the second half. They just want to relax and start to have some fun. As far as the Ticats are concerned, the worst news is what they got with Anthony Calvillo. He is gone for the season with torn up knee ligaments. Back to you, John.
Tough times for the Tiger Cats. Anthony Calvillo struggling and got it back together a little bit more last week. Smith made the catch. It'll be a first down as Foggy found his target for 14 yards.
Well, we talked about it at halftime that the BC Lions just didn't seem like they were playing with any emotion. This is a game of emotion. There's no high-fiving after big plays. There's no excitement on the defensive side of the ball for the BC Lions, and Ricky Foggy's just taking advantage of it and moving the football down the field.
This is Archie Amerson. His best run of the night out near the midfield stripe at the 55, maybe a yard shy of that.
Well, we talked about the counter play off the top with Archie Amerson running behind two big offensive linemen. This time it was Val St. Germain and Tim Princeton leading through the hole for a nice first down pickup. These are the kind of plays that Ricky Foggy wants. Keep drives alive.
From the Ticat 54, it'll be 2nd and 3. And Amerson, nice move there to grab another 5 yards, and he gets the first down. We expected to see him get the football a little bit more. Maybe it's in the second half they're planning to go to him.
Yeah, I expected him to touch the ball a lot. When you have a team that's struggling to find people to make plays for you, you've got a guy like Archie Amerson. You need to make sure he touches the football. He has the abilities to make some big things happen, and he's really been limited in the first half, but they've come out and made a concerted effort to get him involved.
Ticats opening drive of the second half continues. Good fake by Foggy, looking deep and a little too deep for Mike Morreale.
All-out blitz from the BC defense. Greg Frères had come out of the middle from the safety position to actually cover Archie Amerson coming out of the backfield. And when he did that, that's what Ricky Foggy recognized. Went down the middle of the field. That's where the read will take him. Morreale sees safety gone. He goes right to where the safety was, which is the middle. Foggy just can't hook it up because of the pressure.
Well, the reason the throw is a little late there, Glenn, is as a quarterback, if you see blitz coverage, and it was pretty clear that Frères was coming up to cover Amerson out of the backfield, as you suggested, you want to forget about any play fake. He went ahead and play faked Amerson there. Forget about the play fake. You know the coverage play fake didn't do anything for you there now anyway. It's man coverage across the board. You're not drawing anybody out of coverage at that point. Set up and stick the ball to Morreale right there. He's late with the throw.
Allen leads the passers, Millington the rushers, Wembley the receivers. This is 2nd and 10. Foggy unloads, wide open, easy 6. Terry Guess, first catch in the CFL, a 50-yard touchdown.
Well,
who was supposed to be there, Sitz?
Well, from my angle, I'm not sure if the BC Lions were in cover 3, Dave, or if they were in man and tried to make a switch, but Robert Holland jumped up to the short pattern, double covered one guy, and Ashante Smith got in behind him, and it was Robert Holland, who you'll see chasing number 22, that gets beat on the play.
Terry Guess, first touchdown in Canadian football. Number 88 for the Ticats.
Well, I don't want to take it away from not Ashante Smith. Terry Guess, first touchdown. I don't want to take it away from him.
Can't do that. He's a speedster who found a way to get in behind the coverage. More headaches for Adam Rita as Foggy connects for his first touchdown toss of the night. Lions defensive coordinator Dave Easley, far side of the field, really has to figure out what's going on.
Well, with the luxury of the replay, we'll show you in a minute. It was man coverage, and it appeared that Robert Holland and Damian Lyons tried to make a switch down the field, and certainly didn't work.
27-9, the Ticats on top of the hometown BC Lions. Upset in the making. BC Place Stadium tonight. Rashid Gale on the return. Harris made the tackle. That's Cooper Harris. And here he is on the sidelines, celebrating his first catch in Canadian football. Terry Guess, in his first start, 50-yard touchdown.
Here's Damian Lyons up the top and Robert Holland inside. Now Robert Holland and Damian Lyons are going to try and make a switch down the field. That means that Damian Lyons will take his man, who is Prince Wimbley. He jumps there, and Robert Holland is supposed to switch to Terry Guess. Take him deep. He doesn't do it.
And it's an easy 6 for the Tiger Cats. David Allen looks to respond here and now. Larry Thompson cutting over the middle. Nice first down. Pretty good hit to force him out by Orlando Steinauer, but Larry Thompson has made his presence felt here again tonight. 25 yards right there.
David, I think the best part of this play for Larry Thompson and the BC Lions and their fans is what he does at the very end of it. He takes off and runs. Now, every receiver will tell you when they get down the sideline this, it's just as easy for them to step out of bounds. Larry Thompson decides to lower his shoulder and throw a hit in there. That may be what the Lions need to get their motions pumping.
5th catch, 60 yards for Thompson tonight. Lions out near midfield. Allen with time over the middle for Philpott. He escaped the first tackler, which was K.D. Williams. Tiggle, the second man through, made the tackle, number 73.
Well, Damon's now getting back and getting rid of the football quickly. He's finding people, getting the ball out of there. This time he finds Corey Philpott coming out underneath again. These are the kind of things they want to use Philpott on. Get him the ball quickly, now give him time. And because he got it the ball quickly to him, he was able to make K.D. Williams miss.
2nd and 5. Lions at the 51. Philpott out of the backfield, tries to turn the corner and gets the first down.
You know, we've talked about this offense for the BC Lions and that they're back to doing the hitch passes and those little dump passes to Corey Philpott. But I think sooner or later, and David, you know this better than I would, but sooner or later, you got to throw the ball down the field. You have to stretch the defense and make them even think that you're going to go deep, and that opens it up underneath. Right now, Hamilton keeps clamping down. Now, Corey Philpott got the first down, but you can't throw underneath forever.
First down for Damon Allen. He escaped. Best run of the night for Allen. Sliding in front of K.D. Williams. Across the 40.
Getting back to what you're talking about, Glenn, you're exactly right. You're going to have to take some shots downfield, and this was an opportunity to do that. Now they play man coverage. They're tired of giving away the underneath throw. They're going to play man coverage. There's the opportunity for him to throw it down the field. But if they continue to drop off at zone, you got to be patient and take the throws underneath.
Damon Allen grabbed 6. It's 2nd and 4. Good drive for the Lions. Allen with time again. Great shot. Right on target. Alfred Jackson, penalty marker down. Jackson has not been one of the active BC receivers thus far tonight. He has a couple.
Well, Sam Rogers came in and put the hit on Alfred Jackson.
Major foul, spearing.
Yeah.
Hamilton, number 30. First down.
You don't think they're a little sensitive to this kind of play, do you, Glenn? This was pretty close to being a pretty clean play, so we'll get a chance to see it.
Well, yeah, I don't think it was late by any means, but it was the spearing, the leading with the head. And you're right. I mean, officials after last week especially, and the tape that Adam Rita has sent to them are going to be watching for this, and they get Sam Rogers.
So the Lions drive continues. 1st and 10. Just outside the 10. Thompson couldn't hold on. It's a low pass from Damon Allen. You want another peek at that hit by Sam Rogers?
And I think Glenn hits it right on the head with no pun intended. He uses his head as a spearing, as he spears him right in the back right. You see the head come in? If he hadn't dipped the head, if he just dove on top of Jackson, there'd been no call. But as soon as he dipped the head and speared him, that's where the call came. And I think it's a legitimate call. You got to protect the players that are on the ground.
I agree. And you cannot use your helmet as a weapon.
2nd and 10, Lions at the Hamilton 11. BC trailing 27-9 as Allen looks to the corner, and markers are down in the BC backfield. Willie Whitehead all over Damon Allen as he got it away. 2 markers down.
Well, Mo Elowanibi, who's playing the right guard position, I believe may have been called on the holding on Willie Whitehead.
Holding. BC 59. Penalties decline. Third down.
Well, the officials got Todd Furtick, but I saw Mo Elowanibi, who's been playing with a real bad back throughout this football game. He was also holding on the opposite side of the field. See Todd Furtick right at the top of your screen. Well, what would you call that?
I think that was steer wrestling.
Wow.
Lou Pasanglia is in on third down. He's 3 for 3 tonight from 36, 43, and 39. And now he's 4 for 4 as the Lions inch a little closer, but they've still got a long way back to catch the Hamilton Tiger Cats at home tonight. It's 27-12 on Friday Night Football. Baseball playoffs begin on Tuesday, so Friday Night Football will take a little time off. When we come back October 10th, this game could be huge, guys. Saskatchewan here against BC.
Well, with the race in the West so tight, the Lions have the series on Calgary and Edmonton, but they don't on Saskatchewan unless they win that game by 22 points or more.
And they need to take care of business right now. They've got themselves in a vice.
Ticats in the lead with a first down at the 35 after Pasanglia's field goal. Guess again, second catch of the night. His first went for a 50-yard touchdown. Terry Guess, couple of starts with the Saints in 1996, playing his first game of Canadian football.
Well, he only signed a contract with the team a week ago.
And the tough situation about Terry Guess coming in and playing, he comes in and plays on 4 days. First of all, he didn't know all the plays. And the guy that takes it on the chin is an Andrew Grigg, a guy that's been around for several years looking for an opportunity. He has to sit down and let a guy come in and play.
Well, they get a little more speed with Guess in there. Nice speed here. Archie Amerson still going. Amerson down across the 30. There was a penalty marker way back, however, and we'll wait and see how this unfolds.
Well, this may come back. I'm not sure. It was right in that holding area, but you know what? You can always tell as a defense, if you're ready to play a football game, you can tell by your tackling. And right now, the BC Lions are poor tackling in the open field. It's 2 plays in a row now that Archie Amerson and Terry Guess have broken tackles.
Hamilton 57. Second down repeated.
Well, St. Germain nailed on that one. Nice run anyway for Amerson, who's fired up, particularly in the second half.
Well, St. Germain, it's a left tackle on the play.
Wipes out a great run by Archie Amerson, and this is a guy I really believe, as we see the poor tackle, actually nobody can really get to him. Archie Amerson makes a lot of people miss, but he has a chance to be a superstar in this league. He stay healthy.
It would have been 47 yards. Play action fake. Foggy throwing on the run. Coming back for it is Smith. And he's wrapped up by Leonard Humphreys, number 24. 9 yards the gain for Ashonde Smith.
That was a great tackle by Leonard Humphreys, because if he loses the tackle, and it was in doubt there for a few moments, Glenn, Ashonde Smith turns it up the sidelines for about another 20 and the first down. So this is a big play by Leonard Humphreys.
Well, Leonard Humphreys is a veteran. We just talked about the sloppy tackling on the previous 2 plays, and he steps it up himself. And I mean, here's a guy who played well against them last time these 2 teams played, and you're right, he makes a play to hold them.
Osbaldiston out of the field in a third down situation. Ozzie standing just inside his 30-yard line.
Hands.
Thompson waits at the 25. Chase back to the 20. Man in his tracks. Good tackle upfield. Dean Noel, a leader for the Ticats on special teams. Foggy will watch for a bit for the Ticats on top, 27-12. This is the Tiger Cats what-if scoreboard. How about week 2, a 5-point loss to the Argos? Week 4, a touchdown separated those 2 teams. 4 points. The Eskimos won by, and then last week, the game they really should have won over Calgary. They lose by 4.
And an interesting thing about that graphic, all those teams will have a chance to win it all. So they were having some close games with some good teams.
First down for the Lions. Damon Allen puts the this one up. His hand was hit. Tiggle had a chance, and he was knocked off the ball by Gerald Vaughn. Allen had his arm nudged as he threw it, and that one went straight up.
That's the type of play you have to go mine. That's
like
the center fielders, yeah.
Yeah, I've often wondered this as a quarterback. Do you guys call this like a pop fly in the secondary?
No, that's the problem. You don't. You're just looking at it thinking you're the only guy in the world, and this is a free stat. It's floating around there. You're flying over to try and pick it up, and then you get cranked by your own guy. Speaking of crank.
That was Campbell, I think. Mike Campbell threw to put the heat on and force Allen to throw that one to the roof. 2nd and 10. Allen, all kinds of time this time. And then he fired. It's intercepted. Should have held on. Steinhauer's 2nd of the game. Damon Allen is off tonight. Better result this time. Steinhauer didn't take it for the touchdown.
Well, this is a cardinal error as a quarterback. When you're in trouble, minimize the mistake and go ahead and take the sack. Great coverage downfield, just a 3-man rush. He's got all day to throw the ball. He tries to make something out of nothing. Just a very, very poor decision to throw that one. That's one a 13-year veteran should never have made.
Well, Damon Allen has tons of time. Hamilton was only sending 3 guys in the pass rush. He needs to run the football in that situation. Just take off and run with it. He hasn't done that at all tonight.
Ricky Foggy at the controls for the Tiger Cats. Another scoring chance here. Guess made the catch. He's short of the first down. Maurice Kelly's best hit of the night. Leonard Humphreys also in on the tackle.
All right, that was a gift for Orlando Steinhauer, who gets his 2nd on the night. And like you said, a throw Damon Allen never should have made, but he hasn't run. Adam Rita would like to see him run for 100 yards a game.
I think he's banged up, Glenn. I think he's not running because the knee's bothering him. He just wants to distribute the ball to his people, and he's having a problem getting it to everybody.
2nd and 3, Ticats. At the 20, Amerson away from 1. Well, maybe not quite. There's a marker down. Benefield didn't let him get by. Number 3 for BC making the tackle.
Well, Johnny Scott jumped offside, but was he drawn?
Offside. BC 96. First down.
Sure he was drawn, but it was by the voice that Ricky Foggy put on him. That's what drew him off.
Well, they called it on Virgil Robertson, but Johnny Scott was the guy who was absolutely in the backfield.
It will be another Ticat first down. Now at the 15. Lion fans a little restless at BC plays tonight. Ricky Foggy, the end zone toss, and it's almost intercepted. Humphreys almost took it away from a Shonda Smith. Big play by number 24.
Well, Leonard Humphreys has really been the only highlight for the BC Lions defensively, and he's in a trail technique in this coverage, which means he's just going to follow in behind the receiver, and when the ball is thrown, break out to it and reads it perfectly, just doesn't finish.
Well, Shonda Smith runs the wrong route here, Glenn. He and Moriali had a conversation coming back to the huddle, and Smith was pounding himself on the head. He made a mistake, ran the wrong route.
Both in the same area. This will be 2nd and 10. Ticats, BC 15, out of the backfield. Amerson away from 1 and out of bounds. About halfway to a first down. Damian Lyons forced him out.
Greg Frères has been coming out of the defensive backfield for the BC Lions and has been involved in a lot of coverage on Archie Amerson, but on that play he waited way too long in his disguise to come out there. Like, he's right in the middle of the field now and then realizes that he's got to get over there and get 9, so he takes off, and because he's on the dead fly, he can't make the tackle.
He did slow him down enough, though, for Lyons to make the tackle and force the Ticats into a field goal situation. Ross Balliston 2 for 2, and he's 3 for 3 at BC Place. Indoors a lot better for Ozzie this week than outdoors at Ivor Wynn last Sunday.
Well, it couldn't get any better. I mean, the situation, he misses a couple last week as Orlando Steinhauer set up that scoring opportunity with his 2nd interception of the game. And Ozzie's come in and he's hit all 3 field goals that he's made tonight with authority. They would have been good from 50 as hard as he's hit them. But great opportunity to come indoors, no elements, great shot.
Back to an 18-point lead for the Tiger Cats, looking for their second win of the season. Steinauer with 2 ICs and a whole bunch of friends up from Seattle. So he's handing out footballs to his pals. Damon Allen may elect to take off this time on first down. There's a helmet rolling up the field, and Allen comes up with about 9 yards. Did you guys see that helmet come loose?
Mike Campbell and Mike Withacombe were struggling. Campbell rips off Withacombe's helmet and then throws it like for a 40-yard discus throw.
Watch, you'll see it here. It looks like a fumble. Not to that side of the screen, unfortunately.
Well, Damon does the right thing there. He made a mistake the last series, and he gets upfield, and he picks up 9 yards. This is exactly what Glenn Suter touched on was, hey, if they're going to cover with 9 and 10 people into coverage, I've got Allis to run with the football, and that's exactly what you said, Glenn, and he got up the field there.
2nd and 2. Watch for 25. He's got it. Watch for the first down. Dragged down from behind by Gerald Vaughn. Good move by Sean Millington, breaking through the hole.
Well, one thing we didn't touch on was the great stop that the BC defense made after the turnover. They came in and forced a field goal, which is what you want your defense to do there. The field goal keeps BC in this ball game. They have an opportunity to get a couple scores, and they're right back in it. So credit the BC defense to keep this one alive.
Lions do have a first down. Out across the 51, shotgun for Damon Allen. He won't get it away. Big time pressure from the Tiger Cats. Montford and Campbell along with Whitehead. Second sack for Hamilton.
Well, Mike Campbell's a little fired up after that little fight with Mike Withacombe the previous play, and he just sort of swats Damon Allen with the left hand, and that's enough to bring the quarterback down.
Second and 18.
Yeah.
Allen stands in and fires a bullet for Trevathan. Couldn't make the catch. Had it bounce off both hands and then fall to the turf. Trevathan in the open. It's been that kind of a night for the BC Lions.
Well, it's a super throw by Damon Allen as he and Trevathan are on the same page. There's no safety in the middle of the field, and they've got Lamar McGriggs trying to run with Trevathan. That's a bit of a mismatch on BC's side. He sees there's no safety. You see Rob Hitchcock, 42, going to the flat, so he's going to take the middle of the field, and it's a super throw, and that's one Trevathan would like to have back. And I'm not sure on the defensive call there on 2nd and 20 that you go to a zero coverage. There's no safety.
Hands, guys, hands.
Busaglia's kick on 3rd down. Sam Rogers waits at the 30. Nice little return of 11 yards. Rogers out across the 41. Perry Van Hofwagen leading the BC tacklers. Story here, folks. Ticats on top, and they have the ball right back.
Well, and again, it's mental. I mean, Mike Trevathan does not drop passes like that very often, but this is a whole BC Lions team that just doesn't seem to be tuned in tonight.
They're all taking a turn kicking it around.
And they're taking a turn making mental mistakes.
Well, Trevathan will blame himself, and he should, but he is not involved in the attack at all. Has not even seen the football. So read that one like you want to.
From the 41, Ricky Foggy got it away in a hurry to Jourdain. Yonel Jourdain, the fullback, number 33. And a little heat on the Ticat quarterback.
Well, David Benefield will not be blocked. That's by design. Ricky Foggy is the block on Benefield. He has to get that ball off to Jourdain in a hurry. Benefield is unblocked by design of the play. Just doesn't quite fast enough because he took the hit.
2nd and 5. Ticats at the 46 with a big lead on the BC Lions. Foggy at the controls. He has Prince Wembley again. Stopped short of the first down by about a yard. That's the end of Q3. It's a long way back for the BC Lions. Trailing by 18, 30-12, 1 quarter to go in BC, as we send you back to Friday Night Football Control.
Welcome back to our Friday Night Football Control studio. On paper, yes, BC's the better team, but as John Wells says, guess again. Terry guess is just one of the many reasons why the Ticats are leading this football game. Great defense as well. But before we sing Hamilton's praises, Marty, BC Lions. I mean, this is a team that looked bad last week against Winnipeg. What is going on with this
Well,
club?
there's obviously something wrong in the Lions' den. They were supposed to be galvanized by that melee last week. To me, I think that the Lions are having a lack of respect for the Tiger Cats. They must have come into this game overconfident. Allen, I know, is the franchise player. He's playing poorly. There are drop passes by guys who are normally steady, like Trevathan. Missed tackles, missed blocks. That team is in trouble. To lose 2 games in a row to the 2 most inept teams in the CFL, that team's in trouble.
You might take exception to the word inept. And by the way, another great quarter for Orlando Steinhauer.
Well, you know, as we look at this play with Orlando Steinhauer, like I said, he's probably the hardest working corner I know in the league, besides Marvin Coleman for Calgary. Right here, the guy that's highlighted at the bottom of the screen, they're rushing 3 people, but watch him peel off to pick up the running back, and that is who Damon Allen is looking at first, is Sean Millington coming out of the backfield. Now, I know Hamilton does not have this in their playbook, but maybe they should put it in, rushing only 2 people and still getting a sack. And then Orlando Steinhauer coming up with the interception. I mean, that's amazing right there.
Against Damon Allen, of all people.
And, you know, another point I want to make about when you talk about how poor BC's playing, give Hamilton credit. I said last week Hamilton hasn't played well all year. In fact, they said they've played poorly all year on offense and on special teams. But tonight, those 2 areas are playing well enough to win, and with a good defense, they can beat teams.
And there was a point you had also were making before while we were off air about Hamilton's offensive line and the protection.
Yes, I think since they've added Joe Burgos to their offensive line, Joe Burgos has been an improvement, and it's helped give them a better front than what they've had in recent weeks.
The Ticats have only won 1 game this year. That one came on the road. They're close to winning their second. Still have a quarter to play. Let's head back to BC Plays. John, Glenn, and Dave, guys.
And you wouldn't believe the Lions are down by 18 points when you look at these numbers, guys. But Foggy has come in and hit on 12 of 17 for 185 yards and the touchdown. And the Ticats head into the 4th quarter with a comfortable cushion. Looking at 3rd down and a punting situation here. Ozzie nailed this one. Larry Thompson back at the 10. Lions could really use a big return here. Thompson has a chance. He lost the ball. It's right to Benefield. And the Lions get a bit of a break there. Gerald Vaughn causing the fumble. 50-yard punt, 33-yard return.
Boy, it happened so fast, it almost looked like a play. Larry Thompson, the ball comes flying out of there. Pretty nice hit by Gerald Vaughn to pop it loose. Benefield just picks it on the 1 hop.
I think Coach Bob Obilovich talked about it at the break. They've come with a purpose on special teams and on defense. Every week they've come to play, and if they've had a little bit of offense, this would be a playoff football team. This is certainly a playoff defense.
Allen has Philpott. Philpott can't get away to grab a 1st down. In fact, he likely only gained a yard. Damon Allen is down. Big hit on Allen here.
Well, we've talked about this defense. The hit was from Mike Philbrick, and he's taken some big ones Damon Allen has in this football game after he's thrown the ball. I think the worst part of that hit for Damon Allen was when he hits the turf. Philbrick hits him, turns him around, and then drives him down into the turf and lands on top of him.
A little quarterback sandwich there. Into the turf at BC Place.
You don't get a sack for those in the meeting room or with your team, but what you do is you get a pressure. And coaches keep track of pressures. You get in the quarterback's face, don't necessarily sack them, but you make them rush the throw and hit them right after. That's called a pressure.
Julio Caravana tightening up that flak jacket far side. He may have to come in here.
That's exactly what they're doing. They're strapping him in the body armor because he may have to come on the field. As you can see the grimacing look after the Philbrick hit that Damon Allen was walking off the field with. He's not going to come out of the game. They'll have to drag him out of this game because he knows he's made some mistakes that have cost him some points. And Damon Allen will be a factor before this game's over. But I think now we start touching on the area, Glenn, that you talked about maybe earlier, where Damon's going to have to start throwing the football down the field. You're down 30-12, and you need to start scoring some points, and he's going to have to start pushing the football down the field a little bit.
Yeah, I think he has to. I also think the Lions need at this point in the football game to get into the hurry-up offense. To see Lamar McGriggs making his way to the sideline, but I mean, there's only 13:51 left in this game, and 30-12 deficit. It's time for hurry-up.
Basically, you need 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
Trailing by 18. 2nd and 11 facing the Lions. Still in BC territory as Allen stands in and delivers a bullet. Trevathan, the target again. Was that tipped?
I think Calvin Tiggle got a piece of it just before it got to Mike Trevathan, but he came right out and did some of the things we talked about. He tried to push it up the field and get it back to Trevathan, but credit this defense. They're playing zone. They're dropping off here, Glenn, and good play by the middle backer.
Well, really nice drop because of depth. I mean, linebackers tend to only drop about 4 or 5 yards, especially a guy like Calvin Tiggle, who's more concerned with stopping the run. But Calvin Tiggle got real deep in his drop, and that's why he was able to put that hand on the football.
Louis Pasagli off his average tonight. 36.7. This is a little bit better. Sam Rogers at the 20 for the Tiger Cats. Tracked down by Sean Millington, but it draws a flag. Millington celebrating the tackle. We'll see if it was legal or not when we return to the stadium at BC Place. The Lions in tough, trailing by 18 to those Tiger Cats. Penalty on the return by Sam Rogers, something a little different.
Well, we were wondering if it was going to be face mask on Sean Millington, but you see the right hand of Sam Rogers, and it was face masking on him.
Sean Millington with his 18th special teams tackle. He's 5th in the league. That's impressive when you start on offense or defense and continue to contribute for your team on special teams.
Ticats with the lead in the 4th quarter. Begin at the 5-yard line. Ricky Foggy at the controls. Anthony Calvillo watching from the sidelines. He is injured. Archie Amerson grabbed a couple. 3 turnovers by the BC Lions, a couple of interceptions by Orlando Steinauer, and that's really a big part of the difference in the game.
Yeah, that's the difference in the game. As you see, both teams have played pretty well offensively. They put up a few numbers. The glaring stat there, the BC's had the ball as long as they have, but the big opportunities that the Hamilton defense has created.
2 interceptions by Steinauer. 1 went for a touchdown. 2nd and 8, flags everywhere. We'll redo this. Hard to figure these BC Lions. They won over Calgary and look superb.
Illegal procedure. Hamilton 57. Still 2nd down.
Val St. Germain, another penalty for him. Back to the Lions. They got bombed by Saskatchewan and looked horrid. Beat up on Edmonton, looked great. Then lost to Winnipeg and looked awful. That's about 4 weeks in the CFL for the BC Lions. And this is week 5 in succession. And they're not looking hot tonight.
One of Adam Rita's quotes this week was, "I hate roller coasters." Well, he's on one.
You're right. Ricky Foggy firing from his end zone. It's a long toss. Almost picked off. Ashonde Smith was the target. Robert Holland got his hands on the ball ever so briefly.
Well, Robert Holland catches it. It's as good as a punt for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Triple coverage. See 3 BC Lions down there. Humphreys, Greg Frères, and Robert Holland.
Well, if you take the safety here now, Glenn, now all of a sudden you put it back within 2 scores and 2 two-point conversions, and you tie the game. So, and it looks like Orlando Steinauer is now in the game to take the snap and punt formation to run around and do exactly that. Give the safety up.
Take a little time off the clock. 11:40 remaining.
Well, Steinauer's had the ball more than some BC Lion receivers, so why not?
Hands!
Steinauer doing a pretty good job back there before sneaking out. Lions were going to get great field position from there. Urban Bowman with a chance for his first win as head coach of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and he'll thank this guy if he hangs on to win this when it's over. Orlando Steinauer brought a whole bunch of friends up from Seattle, and he's put on a show tonight.
He's got a lot of people in the crowd, and he jumped a hitch route early in the game, and this was the only touchdown for a while Steinauer created. And as a defense, they've struggled all year long offensively. You want to get this in the end zone because you certainly don't want to be tackled around the 20 and have to have your offense come in and punch it in. And so
it was a great run.
Orlando gets his boys involved. He's got Carter, he's got Monfort.
A little escort to the end zone on an 80-yard touchdown.
Well, right after that as well, he makes a special teams play that results in 3 points, and then he has his second interception that resulted in another 3 points for Hamilton.
You know what's bad about this, and Orlando Steiner is an ex-teammate of mine. It's great to see him play well. He's played well all year long, described as their most consistent, maybe defensive player of the year, but Les Brown is going to take credit for this. And, you know, that's the bad thing about the whole deal. You know, Les is sitting there going, yeah, that's the way I used to do it.
From Ottawa in the dispersal draft in 1997. 5 interceptions with the Rough Riders last year. Larry Thompson to return for the Lions. And he slipped his way out to about the 27-yard line. Game story, well, we went over part of it, didn't we? With Steinauer there. Foggy coming into the game in relief.
Yeah, Orlando Steinauer is the game story. Made the play, as Glenn alluded to, on special teams. It created a field goal opportunity at the end of the first half. The interception return for the touchdown. And, of course, his second interception off the Damon Allen throw that was ill-advised in their end of the field that resulted in another field goal. So 13 points credited to number 22.
Damon Allen has a long way to get these Lions back. Sean Millington made the catch, flag down in the backfield. Great run by Millington. And he was grabbed from behind by Katie Williams, number 44. This doesn't look good for the Lions where that flag is. Has Williams made a big impact tonight?
BC 59. First down repeated.
Todd Furtick nailed there.
I think just the matter of having Katie Williams on the field and knowing that he has the ability to intercept passes, rush the passer, fly around on the field and make tackles. They have to allow for him. They have to make sure they know where he is all the time. And I think they have to do the same thing for Lamar McGriggs. So these two linebackers, even though the stats may not ring it up, make an impact on the game.
Lions forced into a 1st and 20. Back at the 26, 10:40 to go. Corey Philpott slipping out of the backfield, but not very far. Steinauer over there to make the tackle. Gain is 2. Five interceptions coming into the game and 2 tonight for a total of 7.
You know, we can't talk about this Hamilton defense enough, and Orlando Steinauer just doesn't intercept passes, comes up and makes a pretty good hit on Corey Philpott. But this was a defense that came into the league ranked 2nd against the pass and has done a nice job holding Damon Allen to make him throw underneath.
Allen on 2nd and 18 to the near side, and he missed his target. Looking for Larry Thompson, and Allen is having a long night tonight. Just not crisp.
Well, when you're 2nd and long, it's a brutal situation to be in as a quarterback. You have to wait and wait and wait for someone to run a route for you. Larry Thompson's trying to run the deep comeback route to the wide side of the field, and Damon just had to wait on him and then finally had to get rid of it because Willie Whitehead was breathing down on him. And you're in those situations all night long. It makes for a long, long night.
Long for Adam Rita in particular.
Hands, guys, hands, hands, hands.
Rogers waits for Pasaglia's kick near the 30. His best return of the night out across midfield and back into BC territory. The Lions are having a horrible time on home turf at BC Place. 30-14, Ticats on top. Ticats on top, 30-14. Larry Thompson and the BC Lions having another tough night at the worst possible time after losing last week to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers They're on the verge of losing to the worst team in the CFL this week. Amerson, big run for the Tiger Cats. Out to the 40-yard line, and the Lions' problems seem to be everywhere.
Corey was running with me, so everyone brought closed down on my side.
What was Corey, number 2?
Yeah.
Got a scene. What did he do?
He released outside with me, so I'm trying to run the corner.
Corey, on Pokey, he's running a corner, so you got to release inside on a halfback.
Right, I did.
Oh. But you were really close to him.
But Pokey's like a bang, right?
Throwing on the run, it's Foggy, and it's batted down. Morreale draws a flag, however. So we're listening in at that BC bench, and Thompson is blaming Corey, and Corey is shifting the blame.
You know what? You're never going to find out until film time.
Yeah, the eye in the sky does not lie.
Bang, right? Pokey's a bang, so what I do is I release inside.
Oh, what was the formation?
It was Ace, Pokey. And then, yeah, Larry's got the corner.
Right.
So Larry runs the corner, I bang in and come back out. The corner set, the halfback went with Larry, so I didn't bang it back out there because the corner was sitting there. I just stopped right there.
He's convincing.
Yeah, you'll have to do better than that. Rito watches as another penalty goes against the Lions. It was a problem last week. Ticats set up at the 15. And Amerson gets down inside the 10 to about the 9. This guy's fired up tonight.
Well, he's fired up because the counter play's working again tonight. We featured it off the top, and he is pounding the run. The two big guys are pulling in front of him, and he's hitting it up in the hole. Had a nice run previous to this one. Amerson is a guy that I really think has a chance to be a big-time player if they can just keep him healthy and build some other players around him.
He grabbed 5 there. Ticats set up at the 10, 2nd and 5. Touchdown toss. Morreale, the intended target. Rashid Gale covering. Foggy missed that. Here comes the field goal team.
You know, and the other story for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and they deserve a lot of credit in this football game, is that, remember, Ricky Foggy was forced to come into the game. Anthony Calvillo left early with the knee. Looks like he's gone for the season, and Foggy has done a real nice job of moving the football team.
Anthony Calvillo on the sidelines. Big hit there, like
when it's going,
guy got you.
When it's going bad, it's going bad.
It's gone bad. Meanwhile, Paul Osbaldiston indoors is 4 for 4. 33-14, Ticats on top. And he wasn't smiling last Sunday, was he?
No. Ozzy's come back, and as a veteran does, he stepped back in the saddle, climbed back in the saddle, and he's hitting them good. All his kickoffs have been deep and long tonight. He's done a great job with that part. We're talking about the quarterback, Glenn. You were talking about the quarterbacks before, as Ozzy makes his way to the sideline after his 4th kick. That, you know, Anthony Calvillo deserves an assist tonight. He's played well certainly last week after being benched for a few games, and he certainly deserves an assist because he took care of the ball tonight and moved the football for this team.
Allen out of the cover. Mazzoli's 2nd catch. Not a bad run after that. Tracked down by Philbrick. And Campbell for a 9-yard gain. 7:03 to go. Final quarter at BC Place, and the Tiger Cats have had little to smile about so far in 1997. Full value for the lead they've got in this one here tonight.
We talked about it earlier. They've been so close in so many games, a lot like the BC Lions were last season. Now they've had that type of year and very close to their 2nd win of the season.
Sean Millington tries to get around the corner. 5-yard gain. And that'll be enough for a first down. Well, we've talked about 22 a lot tonight. Couple of interceptions, including one for an 80-yard touchdown for Orlando Steinauer. Foggy in relief, yes, with his first career touchdown on his first CFL catch. That's Terry Guess. And the turnovers. Lions do have a first down. Mazzoli again over the middle. Paid for the catch, but he has another first down. They're moving the yardsticks now in a hurry-up offense with 6:06 to go. Mike Campbell, the injured Tiger Cat. Here's what's left on TSN as far as CFL football is concerned. Our next game, Saskatchewan at BC, October 19th. We've got the Lions and the Eskimos. These could all be big guys. October 24th, Saskatchewan at Winnipeg. Finishing up with BC at Calgary.
Well, Glenn, you touched on it earlier. BC, who we're going to feature 3 of our last 4 games here on TSN. BC, this is the 2nd week in a row they've had an opportunity to climb into a tie with a top spot win-wise or points-wise with Edmonton, and they've let it go. They've lost to Winnipeg last week, and now Hamilton comes into their backyard and takes one from them. This is a bit of a turning point in their season. Are they going to lose it? Are they going to fall off the face of the map here, or what's going to happen?
Well, that's interesting because, you know, John, you talked about it earlier as well, is that they played great against Edmonton and then not so great against Winnipeg, and here again Hamilton. Not to take anything away from Winnipeg or Hamilton because they're better than their records by far, but this is a team that in this game did not come ready to play.
Both teams, Bombers and Ticats, have taken a giant chunk out of this BC Lion team. Lions were physically manhandled last week. They did not play worth a darn, unquote, Adam Rita. Last week, 154 yards for 16 penalties for 154 yards.
Well, I don't think Adam's comments are going to get any nicer this week with this performance.
Six minutes on the clock. Damon Allen has a long way back, trailing 33-14. Sean Millington, great run after making the catch, still going as he crossed the 30-yard line and was rolled over by Gerald Vaughn. 20 yards for Millington. Lions aren't done yet. There's a lot of time left on the clock, but they have to have a little inspiration on plays like this.
Yeah, there's plenty of time to come back in this game, and again, second effort from Sean Millington gets him the yardage.
Over the middle, Jackson down to the 5-yard line. Bulldogged out by Eric Carter. 23 yards. Back to back. 5:21 on the clock. Lions have to score early and often.
Well, I'm surprised that the Lions are even in the huddle. Precious seconds are ticking away as they discuss what play they want when Damon Allen could just call it on the line of scrimmage.
Now 5 minutes to go. First and goal to go. Lions at the Ticat 5. Allen with time. He lost 5 yards. Sliding under. And now there's a penalty. Third sack of the ball game for the Tiger Cats.
Joe Romolo was the guy providing the pressure. He worked on Jamie Terrace during the play and got in the backfield on Damon Allen.
Well, any rough play around their quarterback, and this BC team is going to react. Damon Allen was stumbling and falling and went down, and I think a couple offensive linemen took exception to him being hit once he was stumbling and falling to the ground.
There's Joe Romolo. He rolls on his legs, tries to get up, and Jamie Terrace gives him the
major foul,
two-hander
unnecessary roughness, BC number 60. Major foul, unnecessary roughness, Hamilton 92. Second down.
92. Willie Whitehead was standing there as an observer, simply as an observer. I don't know how you got flagged.
So this will be second down. Goal to go at the 9-yard line. Allen, touchdown toss, has Jackson, makes the catch. Alfred Jackson. touchdown of the season for Alfred Jackson. And the Loggers about ready to go up the pole for the first time tonight.
Well, Adam Reed is going to leave the offense on the field and go for 2 in this situation.
Might as well. 4 catches, 54 yards for Alfred Jackson thus far tonight. 2-point convert try coming up here. Corner route, and the receiver went down. Larry Thompson lost his footing, so it's still a 13-point bulge. Ticats on top of the BC Lions, 33-20. Ticats have the lead, 4:21 to go. It's Friday Night Football from BC Place, and this place really hasn't belonged to the BC Lions tonight. Jackson has a touchdown to get the Lions a little closer, but they trail by 13 with 4:21 to go. Hans team is in on a short kickoff, and the Lions get it, I do believe. Robert Holland.
Wow, that makes it a little more interesting.
2 touchdowns for the win. Can the Lions do it?
Holland makes a super play here because this is in doubt. The first tip puts it up for grabs, and then Holland comes back in and tips it again to get BC the ball. Remember, it's the last person to touch it right there.
Well, Donovan Wright deflects it. The ball does go 10 yards, and Donovan Wright pushes it back inside of 10. But it went 10 initially, so therefore it's legal. And then when Holland sees it in the air, he slaps it out of bounds.
Nice little kick by Brett Anderson to get the ball back for the BC Lions. Damon Allen escapes from 1. Markers are down. Allen runs for cover. Whitehead chased him out. Alfred Jackson has his 8th touchdown catch of the season.
There's Jackson just going to run this straight go route and then adjust to the football when it's in the air. Now, Alondo Steinauer has had a real good game with a couple of interceptions.
BC 59. First down repeat.
And we felt that, you know, Les Brown was going to take credit for those plays. Well,
Alfred wins one there.
So he has to also, I guess, talk to him about that one.
You know, and Alondo's had a great night tonight, and that'll be the one that haunts him.
Yeah.
He'll think about that. That's the way you are as a player. You think about that. As you see Willie Whitehead on a knee, and I think he's more winded than anything else because what a heck of an effort he made to try to track down one of the most elusive, if not the most elusive quarterback in this league, Damon Allen.
Yeah, and what Hamilton is going to do now as well, they have right now 6 defensive linemen dressed. And at this point in the game, they'll probably keep rotating them in, take their time, make sure that the Lions can't get any momentum back for the last 4 minutes and come back in this game.
Well, Whitehead goes all over the field. This is a guy that just does not give up.
Got dragged down by Todd Furtick, who's had to hold him a couple of times.
And he drew the holding penalty there, too. So it'll be 1st and 20. BC.
What?
Lions back at the 35-yard line now, facing a tall order to score 2 touchdowns for the win tonight on home turf. 3:55 to go in the final quarter. Lions have been penalized too many times tonight.
I'll tell you what, this team has got a lot of young players that have a chance to be stars this league, and Willie Whitehead we see being led off the field there is Adam Rita wants this offense to get a couple more scores. He has a chance to be a star in this league. Willie Whitehead.
1st and 20. Allen being chased and dragged down from behind. He got it away. Incomplete. So it'll be 2nd and 20.
Well, Dave, you talked about stars. I mean, no bigger than Joe Munford, who's done a nice job of staying disciplined against Damon Allen and not biting on play action fakes or getting out of his pass rush lanes. But what I liked about this play was the speed in which he runs him down. Damon Allen is very fast to the outside in his full speed, but Joe Munford tracks him down.
Defense has not been the Tiger Cats' problem this season. Here's Allen on 2nd and 20. As Jackson couldn't hang on. Or they call it a catch. The ball squirted loose, but Jackson gets credit for a catch. Big first down for the BC Lions. 22 yards. They needed 20. Into the hurry-up offense. Jackson managing to hang on just out across midfield. From the Ticat 53, first down. Allen, little pro pass near side. Philpott couldn't hang on. 2:56 to go at the stadium at BC Place. The Lions need 2 touchdowns to win this one from the Hamilton Tiger Cats. It's Friday Night Football. Time ticking down on the BC Lions. 2:56 to go. They need a couple of touchdowns to win. Can they do it?
Oh, they can do it. It's just a matter of going out and getting it done. You can talk about it all you want to, but actions are the ones that speak louder than words. And here's Adam Rita talking about what they need to get done.
Release and fade to the sideline because number 2 is going right at the halfback.
Well, what are you thinking? Would you complete the one to
887.
Okay.
Safety fucking bit.
Yeah.
I went to go to 7. He was done.
Okay, and then who do you have in
Big
the
play
flat?
for the Lions here. Second down and 10 to go from the 53, trailing by 13. Allen takes off. He hasn't run a great deal tonight. He'll come up a little shy. Vaughn forced him out, and the spot will be pretty important.
Well, whether or not they have it or not, and they're going to be a couple of yards short. It's 3-down football for Adam Rita and the BC Lions, no question. And Adam Rita, later in that conversation that we just heard, said, remember, you have 2 downs left.
So this is the last one here. 3rd and a long 2. Allen looks to put it up. Target, big first down for Trevor Shaw, and yards to spare. Trevor Shaw, 30 yards. The Lions are alive.
Well, Trevor Shaw in the last couple of games has done a pretty good job. He's come in and caught 1 catch, no bigger than this one, to give his team a chance to come back. Gets the crossing route right across the field, and then gets a little bit of help downfield from Alfred Jackson and blocking Orlando Stoudemire.
Well, that's a blown coverage there, Glenn. It was man coverage across the field, and either Gerald Vaughn or Eric Carter did not run with Shaw on the play, allowed him to get underneath it. In man coverage, there's nobody else left.
Lions set up first down at the 15-yard line. Allen stands in as a target. Mazzoli made the catch, number 82, short of the first down. And there's a marker on the play.
Major foul, roughing the passer.
Whoa.
Hamilton 99. First down.
Mike Philbrick, costly error.
Mike Philbrick has got a couple of those pressures we talked about early in the game where you get the hit just after the ball is thrown. He's working right in the middle of the screen, will come straight up the middle.
You know, we've talked about games that they've lost that have been close. We're talking about Hamilton now. When you have a flavor of losing, it's tough to shake that. And here's BC trying to climb back in this game. Does Hamilton have the knowledge to win a football game?
The doubt enters in. You're right.
1st and goal. Lions at the Ticat 6. There's the toss. There's the catch. Alfred Jackson. Wow. Back-to-back for Alfred Jackson. Oh, my.
Straight out concentration by Alfred Jackson, because that ball seemed to go through the hands of K.D. Williams. Alfred Jackson had to battle it. He's had injuries. You see him limping off, and he concentrated on football and brought it in.
You're exactly right, Glenn. As you see him limping off the field, he's been nursing the knee all year long. He's the outside receiver. He's going to run the slant on Orlando Stoudemire. Stoudemire's trying to play hard inside, but credit Jackson, a super route. You see the hands of K.D. Williams flash. The ball's thrown behind him. Stoudemire's raking at it. He still hangs on.
Check out the scoreboard. Lions are back. Catch the theme.
They were certainly down a few times in this game, but they have not conceded anything. They know this is their backyard. They know what's on the line for them. And the special teams, credit the special teams for the onside kick to get them the ball back. And now, with 2:22 left and just a score down, they can kick the ball away.
Yeah, now you don't have to onside kick it. Back to that touchdown, though. Pretty nice throw by Damon Allen. The ball went through the hands of K.D. Williams. And what a catch by Alfred Jackson. He has to battle with it. Goes down hard on that sore knee, which is the right knee.
Good coverage there, better catch, huh?
Yeah.
Because Steinauer's there.
Just a great football play all the way around.
Jackson has been bothered by injuries. He missed last week, put himself into the game tonight, and has 2 touchdown catches to get the Lions back with an opportunity to win. They're down by a touchdown, or 33-27. No return for the Tiger Cats. Andrew Gregg carries it out of bounds. So a 6-point ball game. Unconverted touchdown ties things up.
Well, 2 big plays in that 8-play drive. I mean, when you're not even talking about the touchdown, but the Alfred Jackson catch to keep a drive alive on 2nd and real long, and then Trevor Shaw on 3rd down gamble picks up huge yardage. So Damon Allen's definitely never out of a game.
And throw a 9th play in there, the tip out of bounds by Robert Holland to get the ball back on the special teams play.
Ticats have the ball, but here comes the heat on Ricky Foggy down. Lions can smell a chance to turn this around. Archie Amerson for Hamilton. Out to the 30. A little better than 5 yards. Call it a 6-yard game. 2nd and 4, Ticats.
You see Archie Amerson try and keep the troops fired up in Hamilton. We talked about the doubt that enters into your mind when you're struggling in the season, and I think that it probably started for Hamilton when that onside kick was executed by the Lions. Now it starts to grow and the cycle starts to build, and you wonder, is Ricky Foggy's going to go to the sideline, whether or not you can actually win a football game.
Ticats have called a timeout.
Oh, you touched on it, Glenn. That's exactly right. Your psyche is so fragile when you're a team that has not won a football game, and especially if you've lost 4 or 5 close ones, which this team has, you begin to wonder. And a few plays by the other team really plants that seed.
Ticats are trying to end a 7-game losing streak. Here come the Lions. BC will get the ball back. Johnny Scott, man of the night for the BC Lions, as it stands right now.
You know what's amazing is that the BC Lions really haven't shown any motion, really haven't gambled much defensively, and on this play in 2nd down, everyone was on the line of scrimmage for the Lions. Check this out. That's called bring the kitchen sink. Cancel the gaps and make a big play when you have to, and Johnny Scott comes up with it.
And what I don't like about the call, Glenn, there is as an offense, you're playing not to lose the football game as opposed to trying to win the game.
Right.
They hit a big play against that coverage and the game's over.
3rd down, Lions get the ball back here. Oswald has been standing at his 15. This place is alive at last. Pretty good kick by Ozzie. Larry Thompson trying to turn the corner across his 35. Really didn't get a block at all. Cracked down by Lamar McGriggs. Needed a block, didn't get one. So 1:40 to go. Damon Allen has his hands on the football and a chance for a victory. It was not a hot start for Allen, but he's down by 6. Touchdown wins it. Well, you know, Rayleigh has seen both sides of these teams, hasn't he?
He's not only on the edge of his seat now, he's on the edge of the railing.
And he just downed a beer, I think. From the 40-yard line, 1st and 10. Lions can't get a first down. Larry Thompson couldn't hang on. 1:37 to go. Ticats have a 6-point lead on the BC Lions.
Well, this is their patented out route. The ball's there, and Larry just loses his footing. He has the first down. He's going to be able to get out of bounds to conserve time. Just can't hang on to the rock.
2nd and 10. Lions at the 40. Anxious times.
Joe
for the
Moss.
Tiger Cats. Joe Moss there. Here's Allen looking to escape. Gets a block and a first down. He hasn't run a great deal tonight, but he runs effectively almost every time he takes off.
And what might be big for the BC Lions should they come back is that Alfred Jackson is back in the lineup. He was injured on the touchdown on the last drive, but he's back out here, and I'm sure Damon Allen will try and get him the ball before this drive is over.
Closing in on midfield with 1:22 to go. The Lions down by 6. They have their hands on the football. 1st and 10. Allen stands in, looks over the middle. Gotcha. Alfred Jackson. Oh my.
And he's hurt again.
20 yards there.
That ball was deflected when Alfred Jackson still comes up with the catch, and at the end of the play, Calvin Tiggle jumps on the back of Jackson's legs.
1:08 to go. Sorry, Suits.
We touched on Alfred Jackson playing with injury. This ball is tipped. Once again, super concentration by Alfred Jackson, and you see Tiggle fall on the back of the legs. He's nursing that sore knee. It's got torn cartilage in the knee, and he's trying to play through it. But you can see he's in severe pain right there.
When you have torn cartilage, and I've had that injury before during my career, and it can be okay for a while, but then you get it twisted the wrong way again, and the pain is unbelievable. It takes you 3 or 4 plays at least to try and get through it.
Alfred Jackson has brought the BC Lions back to within 6 points of a tie with 2 touchdown catches.
And Adam Rita knows now that the training staff has gone on. Alfred Jackson for sure has to leave for 3 plays, and K.D. Williams, he did make it to the sideline, although he was also injured on the last play.
Yeah, he actually twisted his ankle 2 plays previous. He played 1 play hobbling around on the field, and they just played a zone to allow him to drop into a zone, and then he hobbled off the field. And you see, that's what happens with the cartilage, as you explained, Glenn. It pinches in the knee, you get severe pain for 3 or 4 minutes, and then it subsides, and you can walk it off. He'll be back in the ball game.
English is in the game for Jackson. The BC Lions first down at the 40 yards from the end zone. Allen looked like he was down, and they did whistle it down, although he stayed on his feet. Montford got through. Now, is that an early whistle or the right whistle? Protecting the quarterback.
Well, I guess you can't have it both ways. Joe Mumford from the left of your screen makes a nice inside move on Chuck Bradley.
I don't know.
Allen spun away. Loss of 9. 2nd and 19. Allen looking for Shaw. Couldn't make the catch. Trevor Shaw, I do believe.
Well, Trevor Shaw is a 6'3" receiver, and this one just a little too tall for him. The ball just overthrown. He laid out, extended as far as he could, just couldn't come up with it. Now
it's all on the line. One play.
Last ditch shot here, and now you have to throw the ball down the football field.
You need 19 yards on 3rd down.
Look for Damon to scramble a little bit and buy himself some time for the throw.
3 receivers to the near side. It's all or nothing here for Damon Allen and the BC Lions. Thompson made the catch. I think he's
Did he get it though?
Down.
Did he get it?
Thompson not making the catch. It's Andrew English missing by a yard. This spot is critical.
Well, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. He's getting the liberal spot.
Andrew English made the catch, and I think they're getting a heck of a spot there, BC.
Well, you get your forward progress, and you're going to get the best look at the measurement.
Oh, by inches.
Inches.
They're still alive.
It's a game of inches, they say.
Flag goes down on the sidelines. And I think...
Objectionable conduct, Hamilton 53.
Well,
Montford Does he have reason to be angry about this?
Well, just to take a look at that play, you see that left foot by Andrew English. He jams the foot in the turf. That got him the spot.
Yeah, but they're short, Glenn. That's short. That was short.
That was short of the
That was
first
short
down.
a good football and a half of being there.
They got a favorable spot, and now a penalty. 1st and 10. Lions with 27 seconds on the clock. Markers are down. Allen scoots to the end zone. Not quite. Down at the 1, but it's coming back.
Well, if some of the officials agreed with you two in the booth about the spot, then this is the makeup call.
I think it was a favorable spot for the BC Lions.
Holding, BC 55. Offside, Hamilton. First down repeated.
So they take a couple of ticks off the clock, but it could be worse for the BC Lions. Let's have one more look here, Glenn.
I'm not as convinced as you two on the spot. Now watch the left foot of Andrew English right there.
Yeah, but watch what, yeah, he's well behind. He's a football behind the stripe, and they had the ball on the stripe.
Lions continue. 1st and 15. Allen looks to the corner. Interference all over the place. Jackson back in the game, and he draws 2 flags. Orlando Steinauer intercepted 2 passes, took 1 for a touchdown, and Andrew Jackson has had him for lunch in the 4th quarter.
Forward pass interference. Hamilton 22. First down.
Now I'm feeling a little sorry for 22.
Well, you can go from the penthouse to the outhouse in a hurry. I tell you what, that's what this game is all about. And
well, the big question for me is why has Alfred Jackson just now seeing the football? He's been the man. As you see, it's clearly pass interference on Steinauer.
Oh, it is.
But Jackson just now getting the football.
So the BC Lions can win this thing. They're at the 1-yard line. 3 cracks at it from there. 14 seconds on the clock. They've got Millington in the backfield, and why not give it to him?
Unbelievable.
Tie game.
The Hamilton Tiger Cats must be wondering what hit them. They're
you alluded to it, Glenn, to try to get that out of your mind that you can't win or that you can win. It's very difficult to combat, and if you haven't been there, I've been there, I know you've been through it, it's really tough to fight through those feelings, and it just seems like that everything that will go wrong does go wrong.
Think back to the first meeting between these 2 teams earlier this season when the Lions roared back with 3 straight touchdowns on defense to beat the Tiger Cats. They've done it again here tonight. That is, if Lou Pasaglia can poach this one through, it's a 1-point lead. 34-33.
Well, how many times have we said during a game that the Hamilton Tiger Cats have played well enough to win?
They did it last week and lost. And again tonight, Sean Millington powering into the end zone after Alfred Jackson set it up again.
Oh, and the veteran teams are going to make the plays, and Damon Allen relied on number 7, Alfred Jackson. I was alluding to the fact, where had he been the whole ball game?
Yeah.
Obviously, he had the knee problem in the 4th quarter here a little bit, but he caught 5 or 6 balls here in the 4th quarter to get this team back in the game, and you kind of wonder why he wasn't involved early in the game, but hey, better late than never, huh?
Adam Reid is escaping here. Now that Sean Millington takes it to the end zone. David Archer and I still think they might have got a favorable spot to keep that drive alive on 3rd down.
Now here's one more look at it. Andrew English now. That marker is right at the back of that stripe, and so is the toe of English. Now, I'm still saying you put the ball down. It depends if you spot it at the back of the ball or the front of the ball. Adam Rita is real happy it was at the back. Herb Bowman is wishing it was at the front.
You're exactly right.
Well, the Tiger Cats were pretty upset about the spot that they did get and got a penalty on the very next play for objectionable conduct. 11 seconds to go. 1 return away. The Hamilton Tiger Cats now 7 seconds on the clock. Time for 1 Hail Mary pass. Ricky Foggy to who?
You put student body one side or the other, and you try and buy some time and just throw it up and hope for either a penalty or a deflection of some kind, maybe.
Penalty, field goal try, maybe you get it on the line for Osbaldiston. But you need about 35 yards to get inside his range, maybe a little more.
Well, this will be just a 4-man rush and 8 people into cover, or 7 people into coverage, however many they have left. If they rush 3, then it'll be 9. If they rush 4, it'll be 8.
6 seconds to go. It's the Lions by a point. It's Foggy with the football. Time ticking down. He looks deep. And it's picked up by the BC Lions. Damian Lyons ends it for BC. You know, for a long time tonight, they were playing that old BC song, The Lions Sleep Tonight. For 3 quarters and half of the fourth, Hamilton Tiger Cats were the better football team.
How about those little fishes? Yes, that was all the way to the moment. 3 minutes left before they decided, at least offensively, to wake up. And I mean, you really have to feel for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. So, I mean, what does this team have to do to win a football game?
Well, number 7 does a great job for the BC Lions. Alfred Jackson with 2 touchdowns. But I said I felt a little sorry for number 22 for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, an old teammate of yours, who was beaten a couple of times by Jackson, then drew the interference call in the end zone. Prior to that, Steinauer had taken 1 back for a touchdown and intercepted 1 more for the Tiger Cats.
You see the disappointment in Archie Amerson, but that was a great shot of Alfred Jackson talking to Orlando Steinauer. A lot of mutual respect between those 2 players, and it was a battle from start to finish between them tonight.
Hamilton Tiger Cats are 1-13. The BC Lions 8-6, and still very much alive in the race for top spot in the CFL West.
Welcome back to Friday Night Football, the post-game show. It is the BC Lions in quite a fourth-quarter comeback, beating the Hamilton Tiger Cats 34-33, the final. And like a game against Winnipeg early on this season, Alfred Jackson was a big story in that one. He had 3 touchdowns against the Bombers, and that comeback for a win, and was the big story in this game. In the fourth quarter, Jackson emerges. He has a couple of touchdowns, big plays, and also drawing the pass interference as well as BC gets close to the goal line. And Alfred Jackson joins us now from BC Place. Alfred, congratulations on the game. Just give me your thoughts on what was really a wild comeback for the Lions in this.
Well, I tell you, the first half we were flat, and Hamilton came out. They were on fire, and they had nothing to lose, you know. And they have a very good defense, you know. And I think we kind of took them for granted, just like we took Winnipeg for granted. And we're not good enough where if we don't play 60 minutes, we won't win, you know. And today was just it was just like fate, I guess, you know. We stayed together, we bounced back, we got some plays, and we made it happen.
Alfred, it's Bob Obilovich here. What took so long for you to get involved with the offense? It seemed like you really didn't get any balls thrown in your direction until late in the fourth quarter.
Well, I think Damon was kind of concerned about my knee a little bit at the beginning. He kept asking me, was I all right? And I kept telling him, yeah, I'm okay, you know. And he was just spreading the ball around to everyone else before he came to me in the fourth quarter.
Alfred, it's Marty York here. I'm just wondering how the guys were in practice all week, considering what happened last week. I know you didn't play in the game, but just what was the mood like?
The mood was very up-tempo practices. Everybody was staying together. I think what happened in Winnipeg last week, it brought us a little bit closer together. And we weren't flat or nothing like that, but we came out in the first half pretty flat.
Well, it looked like tonight, Alfred, that, you know, Damon took a lot of shots tonight. I mean, you probably didn't notice that because you're out on the flank and you're running routes and so on, but it seemed like Hamilton was putting a lot of pressure on him, and he was getting banged up pretty good tonight, so that might have been one of the reasons why he had trouble getting started himself.
Oh, definitely. Like I said, Hamilton, they got a good front seven. They were bringing everybody, and you know, that's nothing new. You know, I get upset when Damon gets hit. When Damon gets hit, you know, he's our leader. If we're going to get to the playoffs, we need him. And these guys have got to realize they have to do a better job of protecting him.
Alfred, it's Les Brown.
Hey, Les.
What did you see in the secondary of Hamilton that made you, that they started throwing the ball your side, even on Orlando Steinauer?
Well, Steinauer was playing inside, and I told Damon I can get him on corners. I can do little hesitations because he was squatting at 15. Both their corners were kind of squatting. So we just took advantage of that.
Okay, Alfred, I want to ask you one last question. Was that one of your relatives on the officiating staff? That last call was pretty shady there.
Oh, come on. That was totally a PI. Come on, Les. You gotta do, come on, Les. You're a defensive back.
Alfred, it wasn't the PI.
No, I'm
that
not talking about that.
That was definitely a PI.
I'm talking about the
3rd and 1 situation.
The ball being placed where it was. When you see that replayed, you'll be happy to know that you got a good call.
I didn't see that.
A whole yard of a good call.
I didn't see that.
The point's been made. We'll let you go back and
Alfred.
savor the victory. Thanks for coming on with us, Alfred, and a great game tonight in the 4th quarter down the stretch for the Lions.
Thank you.
Alfred Jackson, a couple of touchdowns, over 100 yards receptions tonight, and getting to answer for some of the calls of the officials tonight, late in the game. That certainly did cost the Hamilton Tiger Cats in those dying minutes. We'll have more Friday Night Football when we come back right after this.
Time now for the TSN turning point. It came late in this one, and we think this is the play that won it for the BC Lions.
A 3rd down gamble in the last drive of the football game. The out pass to Andrew English.
In?
I say short.
Short.
I say 1st down.
That's what the official said. And Sean Millington took it over from the 1-yard line to give the BC Lions their victory over the hard luck Hamilton Tiger Cats. Cash donation will be made on behalf of TSN to the Coaching Association of Canada for the training and development of coaches in amateur sport. Again, the Lions win it by a point. Millington celebrates the game-winning touchdown at BC Place.
The Hamilton Tiger Cats played their best game all season. There's no question. They didn't look like a 1-12 football team. They had an 18-point lead in the 4th quarter at BC Place, but they lost again, falling to 1-13. Marty, for the Lions, in a first-place tie, at least for now anyway, with the Edmonton Eskimos in the West.
Rod, you know, it's the first time that the Lions have had a share of first place in the West since 1991, when Bob Bilovich was their coach. But the Hamilton Tiger Cats deserved a better fate tonight. They played the better game, in my opinion. BC played 1 quarter. I think an official deprived Hamilton of a victory tonight with that very poor spot on the English catch. And I want to know how that happens. How does an official blow a call like that?
Well, he either has to be in a bad position to see exactly where the receiver went out of bounds if he's not right on the spot to make a spot like that, because from our angle and everyone else that saw it on TV, I'm sure everybody saw that the guy was short. Everybody except Glenn Suter.
Yeah, really. I got a better question. How many calls did they make right?
Well, you're too harsh on them. But
No,
that
wait a
particular
minute,
call was a mistake.
wait a minute. I'm not going to take the official side in any of the situation, but let's face it. Well, that's 1 call. BC came back in this 4th quarter, though. I mean, what happened necessarily with the Tiger Cats? What happened with the Lions in this case, that they were down by 18 and came back to get the points to win this game?
You know when it all started is on the onside kick. When they recovered that onside kick, Hamilton's defense had to come right back out on that field. And like you say, playing in BC, 3-hour time difference, playing inside the dome, which is a total different thing as well. With them not getting any rest and having to come back out and take another series back-to-back like that really hurt them. It took a toll on them.
Yeah, it seems like this year, too, that the 4th quarter has been a quarter of nemesis for the Hamilton Ticats. They've had several games this year where they've been right in the ball game in the 4th quarter, and then the bad things happen that have happened. They either miss field goals or something like tonight or whatever, but that just seems to be one of the quarters that they have problems with.
That's what makes the CFL so interesting. I mean, these games really are not over until they're over.
That's right.
No, isn't that the truth? Well, we've seen a couple of BC Lions teams. We've seen the team that looks like a champion, a team that looks like a lot less. We saw that last week against Winnipeg, and even for parts of tonight's game against the Tiger Cats. But they come away with the win, the most important thing, by 1 over the Ticats. We'll be back with more right after this. Our next game, oh my goodness, 2 weeks away. What are you guys going to do until then? October the 10th, back at BC Place, Saskatchewan Roughriders to take on the BC Lions. Saskatchewan had a win there earlier this year in week 2. Coming up on Sports Desk with Mike Toth, National League West pennant race. The only one left, the Giants and the Dodgers. Ryder Cup highlights and also one of the Stars signing back with the Dallas Stars. All that's still to come. Adam Rita's BC Lions in a squeaker over Urban Bowman's Ticats, 34-33. From all of us here at Friday Night Football, thanks for watching. Have a good night, everybody.
Friday Night Football tonight.